All right, good evening, everybody. How is everybody doing today? Hope we're all having a fantastic afternoon. It is Saturday. That means we have got all the sim racing action you need right here from GT45 Gaming and Race Asylum North America. So, round 7 of 10 on the schedule here tonight. And, well, that means we're getting near the end of the championship already. Time has flown on by, hasn't it? So after tonight's race, we're essentially in what I like to call the chase for the championship here in the final 3 rounds. Everybody's starting to take those final 3 rounds extremely seriously. They're keeping their cards very close to their chest, and they're only sharing little bits of information. Hopefully, trying not to give too much away to, of course, their opponents that may be chasing them in the standings or that they may be chasing in the standings for position. So the way things are going to work here tonight, much like they did last weekend, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to do our Division 1 lobby live as a race is happening live in front of us, and then we will take a short break after the end of race 1, and we'll load up race number 2 as it's running right beside lobby 1, and we'll rebroadcast that to everybody as soon as it becomes available to me to bring to the stream. All right, so on the screen in front of us here, once we get rid of this guy right here, you can see we are racing at Red Bull Ring today. So 30 we start. Oh, never mind. I was confused there for a second. How's it going, Poop Down? Hope you're doing fantastic, my dude. John coming in with that thumbs up. Got Skunk Dunk coming in with a follow-off stream there as well. Much love. Welcome to the Winner Circle community. Welcome in everybody over at Racing Asylum's YouTube channel as well. 2 races on the schedule for everybody here today. So it's a 1-hour endurance race. And I believe it's 4 tire and 3 fuel. And hard, medium, and soft racing tires are required to be used throughout the race today. So all 3 tires are mandated, and it is a full flying circuit lap is the mandate on that. So it's a little bit different depending on what part of the race the drivers decide to take those tires in. But today, I believe we're going to see a lot of 2-stop races, unless the weather, of course, with the dynamic weather in play. Red Bull Ring is one of those racetracks on the Gran Turismo 7 platform where the weather can take a turn for the worst. So the drivers will need, of course, to pay attention to that radar if the conditions look like they're starting to get a little dark. So what we're in store for tonight, don't know. It's going to be up to the dynamic weather here in Gran Turismo 7 to see what we're in store for here tonight. So I believe that once the rain meter hits the intermediate tire level on the game, that will, of course, then squash the tire mandate, but I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me on that. And as you can see on the screen in front of us here is, of course, the track that we are racing on here today. Again, is Red Bull Ring in Austria. Very small track, but a very efficient, quick racetrack. It's a 2.68 mile, 4.31 kilometer track. Has 10 left and right hand corners. Has a tarmac surface. It's a real world circuit and has an elevation change of about 214 feet from its highest point to its lowest point. All right, so I'm just waiting for our race officials to be happy with what we got going on in the lineup. And while we're doing that, I'm going to go do a quick little pokesies. Kilty coming in with that share on the stream. Appreciate you, my guy. And Rachel, hello. Make sure everything is working. I had a little issue the first time we went live here today already, and it seems like we're still having a slight ongoing issue, so we'll see how it goes today. Chris coming in with that thumbs up. How you doing, my guy? Kilt coming in with that thumbs up as well. Alright, so we're not getting the chat. There's a few things not working right on my end, so if I seem like I'm ignoring you, I'm really not trying to. In for a quick like and share while I'm out and about. Gotcha, Kilty. Appreciate you. How's it going? Good luck, says Chris. Alright, so we're almost ready to go here. We're just waiting for, looks like one racer here to check himself into the race. And then we're going to get moving and grooving here in qualifying. So it's going to be a 5-minute qualifying run. And that's basically enough for the drivers to get 2 hot laps in here around Red Bull Ring today. And that will determine how the starting order for our 1-hour endurance race will sort itself out with that 5-minute qualifier. Of course, that grid is set fastest to slowest in qualifying. And we got a 10-car grid here in Division 1 today. So, should be interesting to see. Chrissy Poo. Come on, YouTube, settle in there. Alright, looks like we are about underway here, so I'm going to go jump into spectator mode. And we're going to get ready to bring some action. Get to see a black screen for a moment, don't panic. I got to reset the sound on my capture card. Nobody is doing anything too exciting at the moment except for getting ready to start qualifying, so we ain't missing anything too serious here. Alright, there we go. We are live, we're kicking, and we are in action. I'm just going to take my headset off for the double feedback. There we go. Alright. Let's hope the boys do good tonight. Well, time is about to tell. So, we are on board with Ishmael here, but he's definitely not the first guy out on the track. Jakey is our first driver out on track here. He is our championship points leader here in Division 1 as well. Overall, pardon me, I guess in the series. I'm not sure how the standings work, but I'll go and take a look at that at some point in the broadcast here to give you guys a better breakdown of where the drivers are sitting. Aaron coming in with that thumbs up, appreciate you, my guy. So it is Jakey here leading the charge, and this is just the out lap. So this lap is just getting the drivers, getting those tires warmed up, getting the brakes warmed up, and ideally they got 2 laps to try and get the absolute best hot lap, qualifying lap they can get here. So curbing is going to be a struggle for these cars. So the curbs the drivers are going to have to watch here, and of course the weather could potentially go with the other direction here as well today. So lots of unknowns here in the race today. Ooh, that might be a little bit of a wide turn 1 there from Jakey, and that may have picked him up a penalty. Looks like they let him get away with it there, so it was very, very close there. And let's get you guys that stuff. There we go. Coming into turn 3, this is turn 3. There's a little kink out to turn 1. That's technically turn 2 here at Red Bull Ring. So this is turn 3 here that the drivers are just coming through right now. And the slowest corner by far on the racetrack. That's where the drivers are going to be the hardest on the brakes and at their slowest miles per hour here around the racetrack. Then we head into, of course, turn number 4 here. And, oh, Jakey didn't like what he had going on there. I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe there's a setting misstrewn, I'm not sure, but we've got little Nicky out here now, and he's got a half-second penalty, so that is most certainly not ideal in qualifying, but he will get another crack at it here. So and it looks like the call from the race official is we're going to be restarting qualifying here. So I'm not sure what went astray there, but 3-foot flame shooting out the starboard side of the car. I know, right? Oh, Noir wasn't ready. Oh, I got you. See, RA is all over it, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you, Ray. I'm trying to keep my eye on the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is not... Oh, there we go. No, it looks like the YouTube channel's got itself cleaned up here. How you doing, Cars? Hope you're doing well, my man, over at the Race Asylum YouTube channel there. Really appreciate you, my dude. Alright, so we will let Race Control do what Race Control does. You're all good, Noir. Nice and... No, you're all good, homie. Don't stress. Don't stress, Noir. You got it, buddy. Nice and easy. Cool, calm, collected, my man. Wash your hands. The chit chat and the game chat can be quite amusing sometimes, ladies and gentlemen. Fair enough. Fair enough. One driver had a penalty there in qualifying, so he's probably happy that he gets a redo. It might be a good idea, Aaron. Might be a good idea. Yeah, you know. Try to get your sandbags ready. You're all good, Noir. Alright, so just bear with, ladies and gentlemen. Race Control is just getting it all sorted out here. I knew when Jake jumped off the track that something was wrong, as he's our in-house race official here for Division 1, so... Alright, so drivers are just going to come across the start-finish line here so we can get the timer to reset, so we can reset the lobby. In a sense, it's kind of a chance for the drivers to get a few extra freebie corners now, really, which is not always the worst thing either, so... oh, Lucas went for the big drift there, and it was a big fail on his part, but a nice 360 there afterwards. Guys, just having a little bit of light fun here before official proceedings get underway. How you going, Nikita? Hello, hello. Welcome in, welcome in. Alright, so we should be, we just gotta wait for the timer to end, and Jake can reset the lobby, and then we can get things underway. You can see how much the drivers love their race cars, you know, $500,000 race cars, they're just smashing them into each other. It's a beautiful thing about virtual racing. We don't actually have to pay for them. Ah, that sounds good, Aaron. Definitely looking forward to seeing you back on track. Alright, so we're gonna run it again. This time with actual official qualifying times and an official race start. So how was everybody's week? In North America, it is very, very cold right now. In some places, like extreme warning cold. So hopefully everybody's staying warm out there. for those of you that don't have to deal with the extremely crazy cold, think warm thoughts for us. We appreciate it. Well, there you go. ATB has officially subscribed, Queen Ray. The notification just came up on my computer. Welcome in, ATB. Yeah, I thought YouTube was having an issue. I really did. I don't have my YouTube up. I'll go bring it up right now. Alright, I think we're back underway here. We most certainly are. Alright, if it's freezing, you just may need to reload the app. Potentially, currently, it says everything's running fine, but that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. I do apologize. We are live on GT45 Gaming Facebook and the Races on the YouTube channel as well. If your platform you're watching on is having a little bit of lagging or freezing issues, it's unfortunately not anything I can fix at the moment. So just try a different platform or just restart the app. Sometimes that refreshes the page, and definitely make sure it's at 1080p because we are in 1080p here as well. The real cold should be hitting the Northeast tomorrow night and Monday. Personally, I just need to get through the wind as we have a couple of other branches hanging over the power lines. Yeesh, yeah, that's always a little scary. But if they're that bad in shape when they hit the power lines, they shouldn't affect them too much, hopefully. Alright, so we're on board with Jake here. Now this is the outlap. And we're going to jump right on board here this time with Jake when he goes into his official flying lap here. And then just as we come around turn 10 here, we'll jump back out to get the times. Ooh, the drivers as they're coming through, and that was a little bit of a spicy exit there from Jake. So I'm going to jump on board here with ERA Jakey. And as we come into turn 1 here, you're on the brakes just off the right about there. And you're just trying to hug the corner. In this car, apparently the curbs are not this car's best friend. So you got to kind of watch how much cutting of the inside apexes you're taking apparently in this car. This is just the information I've been getting from the driving community here over the weekend. But so now we're heading into turn 3. You're braking at about the 100-meter board and down in the first gear for that rotation and back up in second gear for stability on exit, much of what we just seen Jake do there. The car has a turbo in it, so I mean it pulls when you need it to. Coming into turn 4 here, again, much of the same thing. You're braking right about there, just in between that little sign and the 50-meter board, and then you're just trying to roll out, use all of the corner. It's really important there in corner number 4 here. It's just a matter of throttle control, and you're really just trying to hug the apexes through the S's here, and being very rhythmic. A penalty there for Jake. I must have been through corner 1 potentially. And that's definitely going to hurt the lap a little bit here. We got little Nicky Piggums, King Gears, and Streeter Tom in behind him here. So he's going to serve this penalty. We're going to jump back out to the TV crew, let them do what they do best. And we're going to try and get all of our drivers' times as they come across the line here for the first lap. So Jakey will take the pole position here as he comes through because he'll be the first driver to register an official time, but I doubt that'll hold up with that half-second track limit penalty he had to serve right there. So it's a 1:29.6. Little Nicky's going to come through here, and it is going to be second place for him. Piggums is going to come through. It's going to be third place. King Ears is going to take pole position right there. Streeter Tom come through, stays in fifth. V-Rod's going to take pole position as he comes through. Noir now out in seventh here on the track. It's going to stay there for the time being. Cusker's going to come through. He moves up into sixth place. We got Lucas 36 here, and looked like a little bit of a wide run coming out of 9 there, and that could be a penalty. No, it is not a penalty. You got away with it there, and that was a very good lap there. It's good enough for second place here. And Ishmael, our last driver in the division here, is going to move up into fifth on that lap. So it is currently V-Rod sitting in pole position. And ooh, Lucas not having a good corner there, and that's going to be the end of qualifying for him for sure. Jakey getting it wrong there too, and that's probably going to axe his qualifying run here. Although he did have that half-second penalty, keeping in mind in that first lap, so even with that little mistake, it still might be a better lap here. So I guess good call for him to keep out on the track and see if he can improve. Nice Luke or not. So Jakey here, he's going to be the first driver to come back across the line again. And then it'll be little Nicky, I believe. Higgins right in behind him. Oh, Jake's going to get one more crack at it here. He's going to get across that line with 30 seconds to spare, and that's good enough for pole position here. So he's going to take that away from V-Rod. Little Nicky comes through. He's going to improve and move himself up into 4th place there. King Ears improves his time, but does not take pole position there. So top 3 right now is Jakey, V-Rod, and Lucas. Pickens is in 8th place, so it's Jakey, it's V-Rod here. Who is Lucas coming out? He may maybe sneak another lap in here yet. Ishmael, there he is. He's just coming through there. He's going to get the checkered flag. It's going to be a 6th place race start for him. Where is Streeterton? All the rest of the drivers have come around here. Jakey is literally driving that car like he stole it here today. He's got that thing sideways and every other direction but the wrong way on the racetrack here in qualifying. So definitely putting the car to its limits here, trying to well, be the fastest driver in qualifying. But he's down almost 3/4 of a second currently on his fastest lap. So don't think he's going to make the improvement here this time around. V-Rod's got a penalty, so that's going to squash that lap. Let's stick with King Ears here, as no penalty, and as far as we know, could be up. So we'll just stick with this driver as he comes through turns 9 and 10 here. This is ERA King Ears, a very efficient driver. And a big old slide there through turn 10, and we're seeing that trend in these BRZs. Lucas, Little Nicky moves up into 3rd, but King Ears is going to take 3rd place away from him there as he comes across. And we got a couple more drivers coming through here right at the end. Copeland improving his time. That's going to put him up into P6. And King Ears moving himself up into 3rd place there on that last lap. So that was a good run there for him. Little Nicky's going to be in 4th. We got Piggins moving himself up into 5th place there. Lucas is in 6th. Streeter Thompson 7th. We got Ishmael is in 8th. Noir's in 9th. And Cusker in 10th position here. So that is going to be our starting lineup here for our 1-hour endurance race in round 7. And you can see it's getting dark on track already here. So the drivers got a lot to contend with here today. They're going to have nighttime style conditions or darkening conditions, which means they're going to be running underneath those headlights. And at some point, if it continues to get really dark, they're going to be running underneath their endurance headlights. So the drivers are going to have lights in the rearview mirror to deal with, and all that great stuff that comes with that. But also braking visual markers, braking points might be a little bit harder to notice and pick up in the dark conditions. So there's always that. Then we got the cooler track temperatures and the 3 tire compounds, so that's going to make for a little bit of a less grippier racetrack in a sense, depending on how cool that racetrack is. Could create a lot of rear tire slide in these BRZ race cars. They're very aerodynamically built, but it is still a Group 3 car nonetheless, so they only stick to the ground so well. And then, of course, you got, the fact that you have 10 cars in the grid all fighting for positions, and we always have the big question mark of what is the weather going to do today. So lots of things are going through these racers' minds right now as they are preparing to line up to start this race today. Let's see a crushing wind, says John. Hards at night will be nuts. Yeah, the drivers are definitely in for some tough company here today, without a question of a doubt. Alright. Just making sure everything's moving fairly efficiently here, and it seems to be the case. So The streams are starting to settle down. I was a little curious when I was starting to go live today too. I've been having a couple of little complications while trying to get live today. For the first time, it just didn't go live on RA's channel for some reason. I must have made a mistake setting it up. Don't know, but yeah. So hopefully, fingers crossed, everything plays nice for the next couple hours here for us. Used to be able to race with Jakey when he was on a pad like 3 years ago. I know, right? He got that new wheel, and now you just can't keep up with the guy, I tell you. Alright, so it is Jakey in pole position. It's going to be V-Rod in second, King Ears in third, Little Nicky in fourth, Pigums in fifth, Lucas in sixth, Streeter Tom in seventh, Ishmael in eighth. It's going to be Noir in ninth, and Cusker in 10th place. That's going to be the starting grid here today. And we got about 2 minutes to race start here via race control, ladies and gentlemen. So in the meantime, let's kick it back over this way. And let's go talk a little bit about our racetrack. Alright, so turn 1 is a difficult turn to get right. The painted surface on the entry, the sausage curb at the apex, and the lack of runoff room on exit to make this turn very difficult to take it fast. Expect to see many passing opportunities and also many penalties here in this corner, and that is so true. Turn 3 is sharper than it appears, but also a little bit tricky. The pros, drivers can use the curb on the inside and on the exit can most certainly upset the car. The downhill grade makes braking for turn 4 more difficult. The elevation change can make the grip a bit more challenging. Turn 6 is a blind corner. Drivers cannot see the turn due to the hill crest, so drivers will be forced to use other visual references for their turn-in point. Both the downhill grade and the painted surface and brake zones make turn 7 a lot more challenging. The elevation change mid-turn helps with additional grip, but after the elevation change, the traction will return to normal and has been known to induce oversteer. The track starts to fall away as drivers enter turn 8. Drivers can really clip the apex without incurring a penalty. The exit has plenty of runoff room, but drivers need to be careful not to run too wide. Turn 10 has a couple of dangers. There's a small sausage curb to the inside of the apex that may upset the car. There's an elevation change in this turn as well that will impact grip levels through turn 10, and exits can easily run wide. Runoff area is a painted surface, so grip will be affected, and that is a little bit of information, fun facts on a Red Bull Ring. Scott coming in with that thumbs up. How you doing, Scott? Hope you're doing fantastic. All right, so the drivers are just checking in right now, so this is some good timing on our part. Got through that in the perfect amount of time, and of course compliments of Special Operations Administrator Miss Devious for that amazing track map. Love all the work and all that. Kudos definitely belongs to her there, so I appreciate Miss Devious for the beautiful track maps that she provides for our broadcast. So we're just getting ready to get back on grid here. Would avoid the curbs like the plague with these cars. That is what I've been hearing, yes. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, 10 cars lined up on the grid in the order that they qualified in, of course. That's going to be led here by ERA's Jakey, our pole sitter. Kick them tires, light them fires. We're going racing, chat. We're green. Everybody gets a clean start. No false starts off the line. Everybody gets a good run. And here we go, turn 1 in Red Bull Ring, and ooh, it is a wee bit dark already on the racetrack. Side by side goes King Ears and Jakey. V-Rod and Little Nicky there in 3rd and 4th place. Lucas and Pigums in 5th and 6th. And very quickly, they all settle into a very single file. We got Pigums and Ishmael a little bit here side by side as we head in through the kink at turn 2 and in towards turn 3. We got Noir just in behind. Streeter Tom there as well. Noir looks up the inside, and Ishmael's going to get the pass on Pigums, but oh, we got V-Rod in trouble there coming out of turn 3 on those cold racing tires, and he's going to lose some positions there, and that is very unfortunate to see. I hate to see it, chat. Pigums moves up into 6th place. Streeter Tom moves up into 7th. V-Rod is in 8th. Noir's in 9th here. He just settles in behind here. Nice and patient. And Cusker right there in 10th place in behind him. So here we go. Fairly good, clean race start. Unfortunate there for V-Rod coming out of turn 3, but he is back on track and facing the right direction and right in the mix of things here. So 60 minutes of racing starts now. Jakey immediately with a half-second lead over King Ears. These two have had some great battles this season, and I don't think that's going to change here today either. We got little Nicky right there in 3rd place. Lucas is right there in behind in 4th position. Ishmael now up into 5th place and quickly making up some positions here on the racetrack. V-Rod going a little bit wide. They're battling Noir in the background. Streeter Tom now closing in on the backside out Piggums here, and we got little battles happening everywhere, but very nice playful battles here, and that's a great shot as the drivers are coming up the front straight here in Austria tonight, as they were all on that start finish straight there in their respective positions. So V-Rod and Noir here in 8th and 9th place, and side by side here now as we head towards turn 2, the kink. Noir has that inside position heading into turn number 3, but he does come back into the racing line. Are we going to see a response here from V-Rod? Nope, Noir is going to take a semi-defensive line there and just cover that off, and he's going to move up into 8th place. V-Rod moving down into 9th, Cusker into 10th place. So V-Rod just chilling here. A little mistake. He's probably gathering himself back up behind the wheel a little bit. Got to get himself back into his driver rhythm, and it's very early on in the race, so lots of time to make up for that little mistake. And I mean, he's right there in the pack, so no harm, no foul, just a little extra work ahead of him here. King Ears has now grabbed the lead from Jakey here and very quickly starts to try and open up a gap. We've seen this driver do this week in and week out. He pushes very hard towards the front, and when he gets out there, he pushes extremely hard to try and open up the gap. Last week, it just didn't work out for him. A few self-induced mistakes. We'll see what this week has in store for him, but ERA Jakey ain't letting him go anywhere here. He's only 4/10 of a second in behind King Ears right now. Little Nicky and Lucas here in 3rd and 4th place are about 3 seconds in behind that front group right now, and no immediate pressure coming from Lucas right now in behind Little Nicky, and actually Lucas has just come into pit lane here as well. So some of the drivers opting to get off of those tires very, very early on here in the race. I'm assuming those are drivers that are probably on those racing hard tires most likely. So Piggums moves up into 4th place with those pit stops. Noir moves up into 5th place. So we got a couple teammates there, almost nose to tail. We got Lucas in pit lane, getting those tires changed. Crew doing a great job there and get that car out very quickly here. Much of the same thing for Streeter Tom, and I believe this is his first appearance in the BRZ series here this season. We got V-Rod coming out just in behind, and Cusker coming out just in behind him. So we had 4 or 5 drivers jump into pit lane very early on there, and strategies already at play. So here we go. Let's see where the dust settles now when everything sorts itself out. So what's going to happen now is pit stops are going to create gaps on the racetrack. So it's going to look like drivers are not having a very good race. But when that leads up into the last 10-15 minutes of this race, these drivers are going to close right back up. And then those fierce battles for those final finishing positions are going to take over. So it's going to be very interesting to see what's in store for us here this week from Race Asylum North America, Division 1, and then followed up by Division 2 just a few minutes afterwards as well. So, Nolander coming in with that thumbs up. Hope you're doing good, my man. Got King Ears here in 1st place. We got Jakey still in 2nd. The gap's now 1.6. Got Little Nicky here. He's coming into pit lane now. So pit strategy's full in effect. We got Piggums and Noir here. They're going to move up into 3rd and 4th place there now as they still opt to stay out on the racetrack here. And nose to tail here coming into turn number 1. Ooh, Noir had to bail a little bit there as he had a little bit of overspeed coming in behind Piggums there, but great job and recognition there by the driver. And well, I mean, number 1 rule of racing, ladies and gentlemen, especially if you're a team driver, you never take out your teammate if you can at all avoid it, and that's exactly what we just saw there. So great job there by Noir, and it could have cost him a little bit of time, but at the end of the day, both cars are safe and sound, still moving in the right direction. We got Lucas there in 5th place, Little Nicky there in 6th. We got Ishmael here in 7th. We got V-Rod in 8th. We got Cusker in 9th, and Streeter Tom here now in 10th position. So half the field has opted to switch tires very, very early on in the race. King Ears in very early lead here. He made his way around ERA Jakey, his teammate, on lap 2, and has been since trying to open up that gap on ERA Jakey since, but there is a tire difference between the 2 cars, and we're seeing a very similar strategy style coming from King Ears. So it's worked out for him in some rounds, and some rounds it has not worked out for him. So we'll see how it works out for him this week. Here we got Piggins and Noir, basically back to nose tail here again, coming through turns 9 and 10 here, and 11 seconds is the gap to the two drivers up in front. But again, tire differences between the little groups of packs of cars we got going on here right now. Got Lucas leading this next pack, the back pack that is Pitt. He's in 5th place. He's managed to get his way around Little Nicky, but he gets a little bit wide there into the corner. Little Nicky in 6th place there, may be able to take advantage, as I may have picked up a half second for Lucas. No, looks like he may have gotten away with it there. Maybe a little bit of net coating going in the lobby too is what we could be seeing there. The car is moving a little bit weird in that corner, it seems like. Got V-Rod now up at the 8th place. We got Cusker in the 9th position. Streeter Tom just in behind there in 10th place. So, pit strategies are going to vary. We've seen this all season long. Like I said, it's going to be about the last 15, 20, maybe 20 minutes. Definitely the last 15 minutes is when things are going to start to tighten back up and start to get spicy again, when those final rounds, pit stops all circulate through. All those different strategies kind of they close up those pit delta gaps, and then we can really have a better idea of which driver is going to be putting pressure on who and where. But right now it's King Ears trying to ditch Jakey here, and not able to do it easily here. It's only a 2-second gap here, 2.2 as he comes around turn 10 there. So you're picking up some time, but maybe not as much as ideally he'd be looking for at the per lap when you have a tire difference. But maybe he's just taking it easy, who knows? Maybe he's just dialed it back a little bit so he doesn't make those mistakes like we seen last week from that driver. It's hard to say, but again, the race is very, very young. So Piggins and Noir here in 3rd and 4th place, still very close together and not battling each other at all. And just smart driving here. They're just chilling, doing their thing, and just trying to gain on that pack in front. But again, the tire difference is going to make that very difficult here, as it's 14.5 seconds from 3rd and 4th to 1st and 2nd currently. And then it's another 13-second gap from 3rd and 4th to the rest of the pack that made those early pit stops. So Lucas in 5th, leading that back half. We got Little Nicky in 6th place, and he's about 3/4 of a second, a little less, in behind Lucas, so well in that slipstream range right now. Ishmael is just a hair over a second in behind those two right now, and just outside of the slipstream, so not quite getting the free pull along here, but definitely close enough to close up under braking and potentially get himself into that point. We got V-Rod here, he's about 1.8 seconds in behind Ishmael currently. Cusker is about 3.4 seconds in behind him. We got Tom 1.9 seconds in behind him. So the guys that stopped early, if they're going to try and pull a 2-stop here, they're definitely going to have to manage their pace, their tires, their fuel, in order to make a 2-stop work. So whether or not a 2-stop is viable with such an early pit stop is really hard to say. I don't think it's going to be. I think that the pace drop off is going to be too much. So I think we're potentially going to see 3 stops from that back group. It's really, and that's just my educated guess, based off of the fact that I think this is going to be about a 40 to 41 lap race. So King Ears, 2.8 seconds up on Jake. So he made up a little bit of time up through the S's at the end of that last lap, and leading in 2 turns 1, 2, and 3 in this lap. And he gained about half a second on his teammate behind Jakey chasing in 2nd place. They've gained about 2.5 seconds on the 2 gentlemen in behind him here, Piggins and Noir chasing. And ooh, a little bit of a mistake on the throttle there, but man, that was a quick gather up right there by Noir, and I thought for sure that he was going to lose that car, but great reaction time there from him, and he scoops that thing back up, keeps it moving forward. Lucas here, and these guys are closing in now. Now again, tire differences. These guys are on the medium racing tires. The only drivers on the racing hard tires currently on this racetrack are 3rd and 4th place. Got Ishmael here in 7th. We got V-Rod in 8th. We've got Cusker here in 9th. And we've got Tom in 10th place. So 4 of the 5 pit stoppers there are on a medium racing tire. 1 is on the soft tire. We have 2 drivers on the racing hard tire, and the 2 drivers up front on different compounds of a soft and medium tires. So lots of different and varying strategies are in full effect here on the racetrack today, and I'm not surprised to see that. We've seen that all season long, and that's what makes it so fun. Doing a risky strat, the risky strats, yeah, I mean, they pay off, but you need to be so perfect on a risky strat. And, I mean, with a 10-car field, it's most certainly possible. You got a little more driving room, you got a little more breathing room, you got a few less drivers you need to worry about, but you still got to be perfect, and that's not simple. So we got Piggums and Noir here. Looked like Noir had a bit of a run there, but Noir doesn't seem to be uh, too interested in forcing his way around his teammate there. He got a great run coming out of corner number 3 there, though, and we're going to go side by side here for 3rd and 4th place as we head into turn number 4 here. And this is some great racing between these two here right now. That's going to be a very tight line there from Noir. It's going to be compromised, and Piggums could have maybe had a cutback, but again, these two are just doing their thing. Noir got a good run. He moved up in front of Piggums there, and Piggums is now just going to settle in behind him and let him run the pace here. So very interesting strategy from these guys. But boy, the pack is coming. 6 seconds in behind is Lucas, Little Nicky, V-Rod, Ishmael, Cusker, and Streeter Tom. Ooh, half-second track limit penalty there from Tom. That's going to slow him down just a little bit, but we're only 12 minutes, just a little over 12 minutes into this race, which means we still have 47 and some change remaining. Some off-the-wall strats. You and Nolander like, actually. It's yeah. Sometimes the strategies are interesting. All right, so we got Lucas now in pit lane, so he's most certainly going to be looking at a 3-stop race here. So he's, if I had to guess, going to get off the medium tire, and he's going to run 2 elongated soft tire stints here. Got Jakey in 2nd place. The gap between him and King Ears now is 5.1 seconds. Noir here now in 3rd place. He's got 21 seconds to the race. Leaders Piggums here in 4th place, just in behind as well. Got Little Nicky. He's 6.8 seconds in behind Noir, and Piggums with V-Rod right in tow, half a second right now in that slipstream. Cusker there in 8th place. He's about 2.6 seconds in behind those guys right now. Streeter Tom there is about 7.3, and Lucas just coming out of pit lane after his stop here in 10th position, and definitely going to be a 3-stop strategy there for that driver. So I think we're going to see in the battle of the 2 versus 3 stops here today, and it should be quite interesting to see how those work themselves out. To make up time in clean air, yeah, sometimes it works. Sometimes it works, man. That's why you got to have a good strategy person in the team, man, or you got to be good at coming up with strategies yourself, because strategy, 7 out of 10 times can win you a race. So strategy is definitely an important part of racing, real racing and sim racing alike. The two don't really differ that far apart from each other, except for the fact that we're not wrecking real race cars, and then we can't physically get hurt crashing into a wall, and we can go on any track any time of year we want. So a little bit of advantage being a sim racer over a real world racer, and the pocketbook doesn't take quite a dent. Obviously sim racing equipment isn't necessarily cheap either, but it beats a $500,000 race car that you just drove into the wall in qualifying, and now you need to pull the backup car out, and now you're down a $500,000 race car. So sim racing has some small advantages to that there. So we got Noir now ahead of Jakey, so Jakey obviously made a mistake. Oh no, Jakey has pit, so my mistake. I didn't see the pit stop there, so I was too busy yammering. So my apologies there. Jake does make a pit stop there, and he actually slots out in behind Noir, and it might be a 3-stop strategy for Jakey as well here. Piggums in 4th place. He's 3 seconds in behind those two right now. We got V-Rod closing in 3 seconds in behind, so he's made his way around. We got Cusker there in 6th. We got Streeter Tom in 7th. Somehow, some way, the camera crew didn't want to show that beautiful blue car. Those beautiful blue flames shooting out the exhaust pipes of this BRZ. Some back pressure built up in those cars. Got Lucas here in 8th place. We've got Ishmael here in 9th. He's now made a 2nd pit stop. Little Nicky here in 10th place. So definitely seeing 3-stop strategies out of a large part of the driving field here in Division 1. It could potentially be maybe a full 3-stop field today here. We'll have to wait and see. So the gap now, because Ears hasn't made a pit stop yet, is 30 seconds. Now some of the drivers behind him haven't made a pit stop either, but he's on an entire advantage over those drivers currently. Noir is here in second place. He's got Jakey chasing him here in the third position, just in behind. Piggins is right there in fourth place, just coming through turn number 3 there. As you can see, those guys about 3 seconds up the road. V-Rod's closing in quickly here in fifth place. So we're going to sit here with this because we're probably going to see a battle happening here between fourth place and fifth place here, if not this lap, probably the next lap. We'll have to wait and see what happens here, but we're going to be keeping our eyes on this. We're going to keep our eye on second and third place here too as well, because Jakey seems to be closing in on Noir a little bit. So let's get on to our fifth place driver here as we're heading into the S's here. I expect that by the time we get through turns 9 and 10, he's going to be right on the tail fin of Piggins up in front there, and then looking to maybe try and get a move done in up the straightaway in the slipstream heading into turn 1 on lap number 12. Nope, he's just going to take it on the outside there. He must know he has the tire advantage. Piggins is going to go into actually pit lane right there. So great navigation by those two drivers, and no harm, no foul view, and both drivers get continue on without even being remotely held up at all. So great job by those two right there. We got Cusker here in 6th place. Pickens is in pit lane, so we got Lucas coming around in 7th. We got Ishmael there in 8th. We've got Little Nicky here in 9th, and he's got Streeter Tom closing in here real quick in 10th place, but he's picked up that pit lane infraction penalty, and that's always a tough one to swallow, but he'll serve that penalty and he'll continue along his way. -4 degrees in Kansas for the game temp tonight. Yeah, it's about the same temperature as where I'm at right now, Aaron. Give or take a couple degrees. King Ears is in the lead here, and it's still only 30 seconds, so he hasn't gained any more or lost any, but he definitely hasn't gained any more. Noir had a spicy exit there, and he's still got that gap just under a second here to Jakey, but Jakey's ever so slightly closing in on him here now. So now we got V-Rod. He's 3.6 seconds in behind second and third place. He's on a tire advantage over those two drivers, so potential passes coming there as well. We got Cusker here in 5th place. We got Lucas in 6th place, so he does manage to leapfrog Piggins in pit lane there. Piggins is in 7th. He comes out just ahead of Ishmael. We got Little Nicky here in 9th position, and Streeter Tom rounding out the field here in 10th place. So rocking and rolling, and King Ears coming around here, and he has only 2 drivers now on the racetrack that have yet to make their first pit stops, and that being our race leader and our 2nd place driver TT Noir. The rest of the drivers have made at least 1 stop here so far in the race today. That's funny, Aaron. King Ears here in 1st place. We got Noir in 2nd. He's on the defense here as Jakey's looking to make a move. We got a cutback coming here. Seen the setup right from the get-go here, and it's going to be side by side now as we head into turn number 4. Nope, Jake does not get the run. Noir's going to go defensive here. Jakey's going to go on the outside, and there's going to be a compromised line there for Noir. And again, Jakey's going to try and get a inside-out move done there, but Noir's doing a great job at holding that defensive line here, and again has to go defensive into the S's, and really this is just allowing V-Rod to really close up on these two. Jakey's going to get the job done there as he goes on the outside, and V-Rod is now closing in, so this is not a finished battle yet. Now V-Rod is definitely going to start putting the pressure on both these drivers here again, as there is a tire difference between the drivers here. And Noir looking up the inside of Jakey there. Ooh, Jakey trying to get into pit lane, gets a little tap from King Ears there as King Ears was trying to navigate that battle happening up front there. And as he's, or V-Rod, pardon me, and as he's closing in on Noir there, he went to go follow Jakey down his line, but didn't realize that Jakey, I think, was pitting there, and gave him a little tap. So thankfully didn't overshoot Jakey's pit lane entry there, and of course thankfully it didn't affect V-Rod's car either there. So that was a very close call between the two, but definitely some fighting happening here between the two, and it's V-Rod and Noir here side by side as we head into turn 3. And again, Noir on that defensive line, and some good hard racing here between the two drivers right now side by side. Noir still has just a nose clip advantage right now as we head towards turn number 4, and he's coming out on a little bit of a better defensive line this time, but again, he's going to compromise that exit. And a little bit of contact there between the two drivers. I don't think that was intentional. That's just good hard side-by-side racing. But this battle continues here as we head into the S's, and we're not leaving this battle. This is a great battle right now in the mid part of this race. And here we go. So V-Rod's cooking, and he's going to be looking. And oh, he takes a look up the inside there, but it was covered off by Noir. He had to check back up, and he had to tuck back into line. And oh boy, Noir is not making it easy for V-Rod to get around him right now. And this is not what V-Rod wants, being on those soft tires. Is to be hard defended by a driver on a slower tire right now. And Noir's doing a pretty good job of it. And V-Rod is losing time to King Ears because of it. So this is some great racing between these two right now, and that's what it's all about. Up into slipstream. Are we going to see the move coming into turn 1 here now? It is potentially close enough to happen. No, he is going to look for the big run, and he tucks right in underneath the BRZ of Noir here. And again, Noir is probably going to take this defensive line here. He's been defending quite hard so far all race long, and it looks like that's exactly what it's going to be here again. He's not going to give that inside up. And if V-Rod wants to get around him here, he's going to make him do it on the outside. But he takes a huge run. That was a big run there by V-Rod. A little bit of a mistake there by Noir. And V-Rod finally gets the job done on the outside. That was a big move right there by V-Rod. He took a huge risk right there. Went in really deep to the corner on the outside and made that pass work. That was some great action right there, ladies and gentlemen, by V-Rod and Noir. And V-Rod's going to move up into second place with that great pass there on Noir. All right, so Cusker here in 4th place. We got Lucas in 5th place. We got Jakey in 6th. We got Ishmael here in 7th place. And Pickham's very close in tow here in 8th place as well, within half a second now in behind Ishmael. So potential little battle here. Let's sit on board with these two drivers here for a minute and see if anything develops in this little exchange between the two BRZ drivers. That was some great fighting right there for 2nd and 3rd place, wasn't it, ladies and gentlemen? That was some great defending by Noir, and that was some great offensive driving right there by V-Rod. That was some fantastic racing by the two right there. That was fantastic racing by the two. Noir now in pit lane there, so he's opted to make a pit stop here. We got Piggins now just losing a little bit of touch with Ishmael there. Currently in 8th place, so nothing quite developing there at the moment. We got little Nicky here in 9th place, and we got Streeter Tom here in 10th place. So it looks like he's made a second pit stop here as well. So it is King Ears with the lead, and it's a 35-second gap. Now that's a pretty decent gap here at Red Bull Ring. It's not a very aggressive pit entry, so it's not too long to get to your pit box here. The pit stop is relatively decent here at Red Bull Ring, so 35 seconds may be enough here to hold that gap. We'll have to wait and see as he comes into pit lane. So a very long first stint there from King Ears. Looks like a 16 lap stint there, 17 essentially. And V-Rod's coming around, like I said, 35 seconds in behind here right now, and it looks like this is going to be a 3-stop strategy from this driver here. So the extra pit stop is definitely going to help King Ears out, and you can see the fuel starting to flash here on V-Rod as well, so that means a pit stop is most certainly coming here in the near future. When that is, I'm not sure yet, but definitely in the near future. Got Cusker here, he's in 3rd place, and he's got a couple laps left in him here yet before another pit stop's going to be required. Lucas here, Lucas is good to go here for a little bit if he chooses to. Got Jake here in 5th place, so King Ears has lost that position to V-Rod, so V-Rod has managed to make his way into 1st place with a pit stop from King Ears. Ears comes out about 3.5 seconds in behind. Cusker here in 3rd place, he's about 5.5 seconds in behind those two. We got Lucas there, he's got some ground to make up there, 17 seconds, but he has a pit stop in hand on these drivers as well. So the next pit stop will most certainly close that gap up. Got ERA Jakey here, he's in 5th place. It's about a 9-second gap to Lucas currently. Ishmael's 5 seconds from Jakey, just a little bit above. Piggum's in behind by 2.5 seconds there as well. Noir's in behind Piggums here now. 2nd is the gap between those two, and in between Piggums and in behind Noir is RA's little Nicky. For some reason, I couldn't get that straight. Don't worry, we have, commentator struggles. It happens, chat. It happens. Streeter Tom here in 10th place as he comes around turn 10. Been away from the track for a while, so he's got to get back into the rhythm of things here a little bit too as well. Alright, so penalty has to be served there by V-Rod. Not ideal, but just losing a little bit of time there to 2 years, about 8/10 of a second on that half-second penalty. So it's not ideal, but it could be worse. There's definitely worse penalty serving zones within the game than right here on Red Bull Ring. So V-Rod has to come into pit lane. He's on 1% fuel. There's just no way he was going to get around that racetrack again one more time, or it would have been a very slow lap there from that driver. So definitely did that bringing the car in. Got Cusker here in 3rd place. He's coming into pit lane here as well. So is Lucas going to go? I don't think Lucas is going to go. Lucas is going to be on track here for a little bit now, I think, on a good healthy stint. We got Ishmael here in 5th place. Looks like he's ready for a good healthy stint here as well. Jake in 6th, much of the same thing from this driver. He's got Piggums in 7th place, just in behind here, and in pretty good shape for a long run here as well. It looks like we got Little Nicky in 8th position. We got Noir there in 9th, so Little Nicky has gotten around Noir. And we got Streeter Tom here in 10th position. So varying strategies here from several of the drivers. Lots of different tire compounds on the track right now, and I don't even know where to begin who that's going to put in a better position than another. But right now, the way things are looking is King Ears is on a very good strategy here, and with a 20-second gap after his first pit stop, in a comfortable position at the moment. No pressure means no need to really force anything crazy, just needs to have a good, consistent, strong pace at this point, and it could very well be enough. Lucas here in 2nd place, 20.5 seconds to gap. We're keeping our eye on that gap distance between 1st and 2nd place. Cusker here, he's 14 seconds in behind Lucas in 3rd place. And has a group of cars very close in behind with V-Rod and Ishmael, Jakey, Piggums, Little Nicky. And speaking of Jakey's really closing up here on Ishmael here as well. So let's stick with this for a minute and see if we have a nice little juicy battle between the two drivers here in the next few corners or so. We've got Piggums and Little Nicky in 7th and 8th place, just in behind there as well. Getting very close together here. So a couple of little battles in the mid-pack maybe starting to brew right now in the mid part of this race. We're just over 28 minutes in, so we have about 31 minutes and 50 seconds remaining of this race yet. So plenty of racing to happen at Red Bull Ring here yet today for Races Island, North America. Alright, so we are nose to tail through a lot of our groups here. We got Cusker and V-Rod now battling it out here for 3rd and 4th place, and Cusker has the inside line heading into turn number 3, but V-Rod again just had a little more pace coming into the corner, and Cusker's just going to settle in behind and settle for 4th place for the time being here. Anyway, side by side now from Ishmael and Jakey. Jakey trying to get the job done coming out of the corner again here as well, and lots of moves being attempted on the outside here. Today's drivers are defending. You don't have a choice. You got to try and take it on the outside, and Jakey's going to get in there ahead, but is there going to be a response from Ishmael? Jakey really had to reel that car in there, and he just manages to outstay Ishmael, but Ishmael able to close right back up on the back door of Jakey's car here, and potentially maybe fight back for that position. So let's see what these two opt to do here. In 5th and 6th place, Jakey just getting 5th place from Ishmael, and Ishmael now trying to close in, but Jakey opened up the gap just a tiny little bit there through the S's and give him just a little bit of breathing room into the braking zone 9 and 10 there. A Little Nicky and Piggums here, so Little Nicky has made his way around Piggums here up into 7th place. That drops Piggums down into 8th place here. Noir's about 7.5 seconds behind the group there in 9th place, and we got Streeter Tom here in 10th position. So King Ears leading the charge here. 18.7 now is the gap. So the gap's come down by 1.3, almost 2 at this point. And again, that's going to be what happens and what we're going to see from our race later when you start on the fastest tire and work your way down to the slowest tire by the end of the race. So that does allow the pack to slowly but surely try to close that gap back up on the tire differences. And a little bit of a slide there entering the S as he gathered it back up. He got it underneath of him real quick there. A little bit of a cost in time and a little bit of tire wear in that slide there, but no harm, no foul there. And he continues on at a good pace around the racetrack, but a little bit of a moment there from King Ears as he comes into the S's, and that cost him just a little bit of time, but Still has 18 seconds to Lucas here in second position. We got V-Rod here in third place chasing, and he's where he needs to be right now. He is chasing Jakey in the championship point standings. I think there's about 11 or 12 point difference there, maybe somewhere around there. And V-Rod needs to finish ahead of Jakey here in the remaining rounds to try and close that gap up for the championship. Got Cusker here in 5th place. We got Ishmael right there in 6th. We got Little Nicky here in 7th position. Got Piggums there in 8th. We got Streeter Tom in 9th. We got Noir after making a pit stop here now in 10th place, almost 10 seconds behind Streeter Tom. So 31 minutes remain in this race, and it appears most of our driving field here in Division 1 is on a 3-stop strategy. It only appears like 1 or 2 drivers are going to, brown flag right there, facts, are going to end up on 2-stop strategy. It's typically the strategy for most of the racers. How's it going, Asylum Racer? Alpha Capri, Happy New Year to you too, my dude. Alright, so King here, 17.1 seconds. So the gap's coming down bit by bit, slowly but surely. Not too crazy fast, though, so he's keeping a really good pace right now on those medium tires up front. Lucas 36 on the soft racing tire chasing here in 2nd place, with much of the field in behind now on the soft racing tires here as well. Got V-Rod in 3rd place. He is still managing a 1 second gap over ERA's Jakey here for the time being. And yeah, not really gaining or losing on V-Rod, so very, very, very close pace between the 2 drivers there. We got ERA's Ishmael Truth here in 5th place as well, and as he enters the braking zone for turn number 1 here, he's got about a 1.2 second gap over RA's Cusker here in 6th place. He's got about a 3/4 second gap over teammate RA's Little Nicky, and what is that, four RA drivers all kind of in a row here in the mid-pack. Got Piggums here in 8th position with another RA driver, Streeter Tom here in 9th, and we got Noir here in 10th place. So it is King Ears leading the charge here. And another second taken out by Lucas in 2nd place. So Lucas is definitely chipping away at our race leader's gap here right now. And Lucas has already used Racing Hard and that Racing Medium tire, so that means when he makes his final pit stop, he's going to be coming back out on a set of soft tires, and when King Ears makes his next pit stop, he's going to be coming out on that Racing Hard tire. Now the question is how long is he going to come out for on that Racing Hard tire with the strategy he's on? Ultimately, he's going to want to try and stretch those mediums right until about 2 to go, and then go and jump onto that hard tire to clear that hard tire mandate. He's definitely going to want to be on those hard tires the least amount of time as possible to make this strategy as effective as possible. Got Lucas here in 2nd place, got it down to 15.7. He's got 16 seconds on the 3rd place driver. So Lucas is really not having to stress about too much at all right now, but try to continue to close the gap up to the race leader. Ooh, and I'm not sure what happened to Mr. Jakey there, but ERA Jakey facing the wrong direction in the grass there. He's going to go from 4th down into 7th place there. And you hate to see it. You hate to see it, but, well, let's go see it, shall we? Oh, you gotta love turn 1. Just came around, and you can see just that little bump into turn 1 just threw the rear end of that BRZ around, and he didn't hit the wall too hard there, so very thankful there for Jake that it was a light contact into the wall there, and that's going to allow him to get that car turned back around and get it back on track. But hey, you hate to see it. And turn 1 has been definitely the biggest corner on this racetrack as far as the drivers and this particular car combo have been complaining about how turn 1 really unsettles these race cars, and that was a perfect example of it. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't take any curbing there. He just took the nice tight inside line into turn 1, and that little dip right at the apex of turn one there was just enough to throw the back end of the car around on him, and once that happens, you're kind of just along for the ride. So yeah, scary moments right there for ERA Jakey. Got Lucas here in second place. We got V-Rod still in third place and still managing quite well. You got about a 7-second gap over Ishmael there. He took a really wide entry into turn one there, and I'm not sure if that's actually going to cost him a penalty here as he comes around there. They're pretty lenient on the entry into turn one, but he was pretty deep in there. We got Ishmael here in fourth place. We got Cusker here in fifth position as well. We got little Nicky right there up the inside here. So side-by-side battle between the two RA drivers here, green and orange. And little Nicky's going to get the job done there into the braking zone, heading into the corner. Of course, teammates playing nice there too as well. Cusker giving him lots of space there, and in doing so, that allows him to pull right back up in behind and get into that slipstream and continue along his journey here. Jakey in seventh place, and that spin was not ideal for Jakey. Now there's 4 positions separating him and V-Rod here in this race. Good for V-Rod, not so good for our points leader here, Jakey. Pickham's in 8th position. We got Streeter Tom here in 9th place, and we've got Noir here in 10th. Oh, and it looked like I just seen a potential penalty maybe pop up there, but hard to say. Hard to say. Alright, so 29 seconds now the gap between King Ears and V-Rod because Lucas has made a pit stop. Ishmael here now moves up into third place with those stops from those 2 drivers. Actually, Lucas and Cusker both coming into pit lane, so a couple positions to be gained by some of the drivers here as they come around. Little Nicky moves up into 4th place. That puts Pickham's up into 5th place. Lucas comes back out of pit lane there in 6th position. Jakey is in 7th position coming around the corner there in behind. Looked like he had a little bit of a slow exit coming out of the corner there. Streeter Tom here up into 8th place now with those pit stops. Cusker's just coming out of pit lane there, and Noir is going to just come out in behind there, so it's going to be 10th place there for Noir. So King Ears, this is the man who's on the 2-stop strat right now, and with a 28.8 second gap over the 3 stoppers. Again, looking like he's in the ideal position currently to win the race, but the bigger question is when is he going to make the stop for the hard tires at the end of the race? Is he going to leave it right until he has to, or is he going to take him a little bit earlier? Really, that's going to come down to 2 things. Tire management, which looks fantastic. We're looking at the tires right now. You can see what I can see. The tires look great. We've got Ishmael Little Nicky now coming into pit lane here as well. The bigger factor here, I think, now for Ears is going to be the fuel gauge at this point in the race. There's still 21 minutes on the clock. He's got just a little under half a tank of fuel, so that tells me he's probably going to be looking at about a 10-minute stint, maybe a little less on those hard tires. So we'll see how he continues to manage his race car. Again, he doesn't need to overpush his car right now. He still definitely needs to try and keep the biggest gap that he can, but by overdriving the car, he's going to use up more fuel. So he's in a tough spot right now because the gap should be enough to keep him out in front, but he doesn't want to give too much of it up, and he doesn't want to overpush the car because, again, if he can save an extra lap or 2 of fuel before the end of the stint, that's really going to pay him dividends when he gets on those hard tires. Got Pickham's here in 3rd place as he comes around. That's Lucas now in 4th place with that sequence of pit stops from a couple drivers. Ishmael stays in 5th place. Little Nicky comes out in 6th after his pit stop with his teammates still right there tucked in behind of Cusker. Noir is going to move up into 8th place with pit stops from Jakey and Streeter Tom. Oh, and it looks like Jakey is having the car assessed. Is that what we're seeing? Yes, the crew's looking at that car, and Tom is just getting some fuel up in that BRZ there. So an issue with Jakey's BRZ there, and not too surprised. We did see him have that moment in the turn 1 and didn't make contact with the wall, so that could have been enough to create a suspension issue with that racing car. And suspension issues in racing cars, they're not good combinations. So yeah, you don't want that. You just don't like to see it. You hate to see it, chat. But King Ears here in the race lead is V-Rod here now in second place. We got Lucas here in third. We got Piggums coming in for his final pit stop of the race here. And I should put Ishmael out ahead, and we'll have to keep an eye on Little Nicky as well. It's only 4.3 seconds. That means Cusker's tucked right in behind. The three drivers should grab this position here on Piggums as they come around the start-finish line to start lap number 27. Well, I can understand though. I mean, you gotta keep the points. You gotta keep building points. So he's in a tough spot where he is in the point standings. I can understand the need to feel like he's got to be here and race today. Got King here. He's got 26 seconds now over V-Rod, so the gap is not closing very quickly here. Noir is tucked in behind Piggums, and both those drivers are being shown a blue flag from King Ears, and again, mainly just because Ears is on a different pit strategy than pretty much the whole field at this point now in the race. So he's gained a pit stop in time, and that's what's now got him playing with some of the traffic here, call it blue flag traffic as we call it. So it's not that there's slower traffic, it's just different pit strategies have allowed him to start lapping the field at this point. We got V-Rod here in second place. He's got Lucas coming in behind here in third place, and 25 seconds is that gap. We got Ishmael there in fourth place. That's another 25-second gap. We got Little Nicky 4 seconds in behind him, with Cusker 1 second in behind him. So those are the two closest cars on track here at the moment, with the exception of these three guys. But this is not a battle for overall position here right now. Piggums in 7th. He's got the race leader in behind him, and then he's got teammate Noir in behind in 8th place as well, in behind the race leader. Streeter Tom here in 9th place, and Jakey's still got that car in pit lane, having the crew taking a look at it there. And of course, like I said, we did see that spin backwards into the wall, or they exited turn 1, and that might have been enough to knock something out of the suspension, and that is going to potentially be a race-ending breakdown for that driver, unfortunately, here today. But it is King Ears still in race lead. Mihal V-Rod in a second position here, and as he's coming around, I mean, no immediate pressure. He's just gotta manage this race car for the last 17 minutes of this race. We got Lucas here in 3rd place, Ishmael here in 4th place, and just big gaps now. We may see pit stops from a couple drivers yet, and that might change some of the gaps up here in the front end. But right now, the battle could be between Little Nicky and Cusker here at the end of the race, and maybe Piggums and Noir there as well. And you still see the race leaders just sitting in behind Piggums here currently right now as well. There is a tire difference between our 7th place driver and our race leader as well, so Piggums might actually be able to manage the pace up ahead of King Ears just due to that fact alone right there. Streeter Tom here in the 9th position, and the crew's still taking a look there. He's not feeling well, Aaron. He's definitely under the weather today, 100%. King Ears here in 1st position, and he's just chilling right now, moving and grooving. He still owes a pit stop, however, but it doesn't look like he's in too much of a hurry to make that pit stop yet. V-Rod here in 2nd place, and with about 10 laps remaining in the race, I figure we're going to start seeing pit strategies hopefully close some of the drivers back up together, so we have some battles at the end of the race. But if not, well, it was a crazy strategy race nonetheless. Little Nicky here in 5th place. We got Cusker there in 6th position with 15 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock. Piggums here in 7th place, still being waved the blue flag here as he rolls up ahead of Ears. Noir's there in 8th place in behind as well. We got Streeter Tom here in 9th position, and poor Jakey still getting that crew to try and take a look at that car. Alright, so King Ears cruising, and having a good race. We did see the one mistake come from him, but again, the strategy really is kind of the key for him here today. It's going to be interesting to see if he's got enough of a gap on V-Rod, and I don't know if V-Rod's got enough fuel in the tank to make the rest of this race duration either. He may need to take a splash before the end of the race, which is potentially really good for Lucas at this point. Lucas, our third place driver, may potentially be in the sleeper position to win this race tonight. King Ears still has a good gap over the third place driver. It's 49.4 seconds. He's probably going to lose about 25 to 30 seconds of that gap when he makes his final pit stop. And Lucas is on the soft tires where King Ears will be going on hard tires. So if you take by what the game says, that hard tires are about 2.5 seconds slower than the soft racing tire. That's going to make it very close by the end of the race between third and first place potentially. And it depends where V-Rod comes out in the mix there as well. Yeah, well, a lot of racers do, Aaron. I mean, you know, there's, yeah, human beings are competitive by nature, and I mean, you know, that's just the way we are, right? So, you know, when you're in a position like Jake is currently coming into the season, it's very hard to take the day and not take any points. He gave it his best effort out there, and then, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, it looks like the car failed, so can't take anything away from the attempt, that's for sure. V-Rod here in second place. We got Lucas here in the third position. We got Ishmael here in fourth. Still maintaining about that 4.5 second gap over teammate Little Nicky and Cusker. Little Nicky's opened up about another second on Cusker in the last couple of laps. Pickham's about 8 seconds in behind them, and his teammate Noir right tucked back in behind here in 8th place. And we got Streeter Tom there in 9th. Alright, so King Ears is closed right up on Piggums here now, so I think he's probably going to maybe try to navigate his right way around Piggums, I'm not sure, but this isn't a bad spot for our race leader either. I mean, Piggums clearly has pace. He's on a little bit of a faster compounded tire than our race leader is, and our race leader needs to sip a little bit of fuel to try and extend this medium tire stint as far as he can. So in a sense, he's not in a bad spot because he can just sit in behind the 7th place driver and literally just let that driver punch the hole in the air, and he can just try to sit there in a short shift and sip a little bit of fuel, maybe save an extra lap of fuel in behind Piggums there as well. So maybe that is exactly what we're seeing. V-Rod here in second place, 20 seconds is the gap, and King Ears is probably managing or monitoring that as well, that gap, but he may not be aware that V-Rod's not going to have enough fuel to get through, and he's going to have to make another stop. So really, this is the guy you should be worrying about right here, is Lucas 36, I think. And we'll have to wait and see here once all this kind of settles out in the wash here, but within the next 3 or 4 minutes, we're going to see how all this is going to play out for the final 3 or 4 laps of this race, without a question of doubt. Alright, so V-Rod's coming in now. As I suspected, he's going to have to take a splash of fuel. It's going to open up the gap here now for King Ears, of course, again, as that pit stop has been made. And of course, you can see that too. So you know that the race team's communicating, okay, second place, just pit. This is the gap between you and third place here now. We got 4th place Ishmael there. We got Little Nicky and Cusker still a couple seconds apart from each other, so anything can definitely happen there still. We got Piggums in 7th place, and still got the race leader settled in behind him there as well. Noir in 8th, Streeter Tom there in 9th, and we got Jakey. Crew's still taking a look at that car, and it does look like it's going to be mechanical sit back there for championship points leader here today. We got King Ears though in the race lead, and 47 seconds. That's a pretty healthy gap coming in. He's not going to need a ton of fuel when he makes his pit stop, so he's not going to lose a whole lot of time on refueling. And I think, yep, he realized, okay, I got a good gap here. You know what? Let's do this. Let's do it right now. He may have been able to go maybe one more lap potentially there, and you can see the fuel is flashing 3% there. So let's stick on board with second place driver Lucas 36 here now. He's 5 seconds ahead of V-Rod. And let's see what the gap works out to be between Lucas and King Ears. If King Ears comes out with the amount of fuel I suspect I'm going to see him come out with, the gap should maintain around 20 seconds, maybe 15. What made you do it? Alright, so here we go. Let's see. King Ears has just come out of pit lane. Lucas is just coming around turn number 10. So it's going to be about a 15-20 second difference here, I think. And let's see what it is once that live timing settles in here. So King Ears is still getting up to speed, obviously. Lucas has got to get around turn 1 and get past that first timing sector for us to really have a good idea what the gap between the two drivers is going to be. And that gap is about 16 seconds. So if it's 2.5 seconds a lap, over 6 more laps, plus this lap 7, call it, that is going to be 15, 16, 17 seconds. So there is potential here for Lucas 36 and V-Rod to catch King Ears before the end of this race. So here we go. Little Nicky in 5th place. We got Cusker here in 6th. We've got Pickums in 7th. We've got Noir in 8th place. We got Streeter Tom in 9th. And Jakey sitting in pit lane. Crew still assessing the condition of that racing car. So this is kind of where all the interest is. 15.2 seconds is the gap. And you can see that gap is constantly dropping from 2nd place driver Lucas in behind. We're going to have to see if King Ears has done enough here to hold off the charge of those soft tire runners in behind. He's got Streeter Tom just in behind him right now currently. So 14.3 and dropping here from Lucas as he comes around, and it's going to be 6 laps remaining as he comes across the start finish line, and that gap is down to 14, just a hair over 14 seconds right now. V-Rod has fastest lap on the racetrack here as well at 128.536. Ishmael in 4th place, 20 seconds to the podium here right now, but he does have Little Nicky closing about 4 seconds in behind. So Little Nicky has started closing up that gap a little bit. Cusker's coming along too as well. The gap has not changed. It's still 2.2, 2.3 seconds. Pickham's right there in 7th place. Noir in behind in 8th. Streeter Tom in 9th. And JP looking like he's going to get that 10th place finish here today. We still got 3 rounds of racing left, so that's definitely going to tighten up the fight for the championship, heading into the what I like to call the chase for the chase for the trophy. So the last 3 rounds of racing between V-Rod and Jakey are going to be some spicy rounds of racing, I think, ladies and gentlemen, and you're definitely not going to want to miss it. Yeah, that's right. Preparedness is key, Aaron. You know it, buddy. You know it. Alright, so 13 seconds now is the gap, and closing quickly here. Does Lucas have enough time? This driver, he's a very clean, efficient, fast race car driver. So, is it possible? And most certainly, I've seen him do it before. Can he do it today? That's up to him. V-Rod here in 3rd place. We got Ishmael here in 4th. We've got Little Nicky right there in 5th place. We got Cusker in 6th, and he's again right there. These 3 drivers still very close to each other. Anything can happen there yet potentially. Pickham's in 7th place. He's got no pressure in front or behind. He's chilling right now. Same thing for Noir. Tom is closing though in 9th place here, and we got. I think King Ears in between Tom and Noir here at the moment that we do. So King Ears is just doing what he does, and the gap is down to 11.5 seconds, 5 minutes and 2 seconds remaining. Ooh, it is going to be close. This is going to be close. It is what it is, man. Daddy duties. V-Rod here in 3rd place, 7.7 seconds is the gap to Lucas, losing a little bit of pace to Lucas there up front. Ishmael's giving up some time to Little Nicky here. He's lost a second in that last lap to Little Nicky, and Little Nicky has gained that time back up on Cusker, and Tom has disconnected from the lobby potentially there, I think, with just a few laps remaining, so that's unfortunate. down to 8 drivers still on track here today. So it is King Ears here in the lead, and the gap is 9 seconds. This man is pushing right now. 4.5 minutes remaining. Oh, it's going to be so close. V-Rod here in 3rd place, doing everything he can to try and close that gap up. We got Ishmael right here in 4th place. He's now got to start thinking about this driver chasing him behind here, Little Nicky. Little Nicky is closing in here. He is starting to think about maybe grabbing a position at the end of this race here. We got Cusker in 6th place, we got Biggums in 7th, and we got Noir there in 8th place. So unfortunate to see it. There's another car behind the wall here today, and you got to think we're 7 weeks of racing into the season. These cars have been battered, beaten, bruised, driven hard, put away wet type thing. You know, sometimes things just break. It's just the way racing goes. King Ears here in 1st place. Boy, that gap. He's got to be sweating a little bit there, as of course the race crew on the radio there probably letting him know what those timing gaps are. You got to be sweating a little bit here now potentially as he comes around. We got Lucas coming up there, and it looks like Noir is up ahead of him there. V-Rod here in 3rd place, and I just potential battle here between Little Nicky and Ishmael here, I think. But other than that, really, this man's charging right now. 7.7 seconds with 2 to go. Ears might have done enough. I mean, he can see him up there now. Lucas can see King Ears up there now. He can see he just entered up into turn 1, but 3 minutes remaining. It's going to be potentially 3 laps to go for King Ears and Lucas here. As they come around, it's 2 laps for the remainder of the field. So Ishmael coming around here, he's in 4th place. Little Nicky's closing in. He's got it under 2 seconds. So Little Nicky's got 2 laps to make something happen here. Cusker in 6th place. We got Piggums in 7th and Noir in 8th place. So King Ears has an 8-second gap. Lucas may have made a mistake there. The gap was under 8 seconds at the start of this lap here. So Lucas maybe made just a small error there, and that might be just enough for King Ears to potentially hold that charge off from our 2nd place driver. We got V-Rod here in 3rd place. We got Ishmael in 4th. Little Nicky's closing that gap. Another 2/10 taken out here. And oh boy, this is going to be close, I think, between these two here as well. We got Cusker in 6th, we got Piggums in 7th, we got Noir here up in 8th place. Ooh, a little bit of a slide right there from King Ears, and that is not going to help him keep that gap from Lucas in behind. That is just going to give Lucas the time back that he lost at the beginning of the lap there. So now we're back to about even playing field here, and that gap is down to under 5.5 seconds with 2 to go. So, oh boy. That is close. That is close. You want to put any bets down, chat? We want to lay any bets down here? Oh my. V-Rod here in 3rd place. We got Ishmael in 4th. 1.2 seconds now. That gap to Little Nicky in behind here. Little Nicky, he's pushing. He's starting to try and close in. He's almost in the slipstream here, so if he can get into the slipstream by the end of the start finish line here coming into turn 1, he may have an opportunity to try and get 4th place from Ishmael, but he definitely needs to get into the slip here before the end of the straight. I don't think he did enough there, and that might just be enough for Ishmael to hold him off here. So it's 4.5 seconds now, and King Ears is definitely working hard here right now. But 4.47 seconds, we got half this lap remaining. Lucas really needs to have that gap down to 3 seconds to really have an actual shot here, I think. So we're going to keep our eye on this. We're definitely sticking here as Ears and Lucas. You can see the headlights of Lucas, and he just comes into the frame there. So definitely getting close. Ooh, wide right there. From Ears as he comes over that curb in the S's there, and very fortunate that Race Control didn't slap a half-second penalty on him right there. That could have made a big difference here in this race. So 3.4 seconds. Lucas hasn't been able to close that much up per lap, so King Ears may have literally just done enough here to hold off that charge. But we're going to get the rest of the field here as they come across the start-finish line to finish their race, and then we're going to go see if Lucas can close in on King Ears here to finish this thing off. So it's going to be V-Rod. Oh, he's going to go around for one more time too. He just beats the buzzer there as he comes across the start-finish line. So there we go. He's going to go around one more time. So it's Ishmael and Little Nicky here. The gap is 3/4 of a second coming around the final corner here. And it looks like Ishmael's done just enough to hold off the charge of Little Nicky. It's going to be a 4th place finish for him. Little Nicky's going to come home in 6th. R.A. Cusker's going to bring it home here in 6th position on the racetrack here as well. Pickham's going to bring it home here in 7th position, and Amar came across there just a little bit earlier to take 8th place. Jakey will take a 9th place finish there in pit lane. Streeter Tom will get that 10th place finish. Let's get back up to the front of the pack. The gap, 1.9 seconds into the S's. Lucas ideally needs to be within that slipstream of a second range here. I don't think he's quite close enough. He needs one more lap here, I think, to really put the charge on. And King Ears is going to hopefully just hold on here with 2 corners remaining. We don't want to say it's done yet, because it ain't done until these drivers cross that checkered flag. And the gap is under a second. So Lucas 36 with that drive, but just not quite enough. And King Ears is going to take it home. Lucas 36 with a great push there. He's going to fall short by 0.8 of a second there on our race leader. And V-Rod is going to bring it home here. And a very important 3rd place finish for him here this week. With, of course, that 9th place finish from Jake. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. There is our Division 1 race in round 7 at Red Bull Ring. And wow, not quite the thrill seeker I was thinking we were going to see at the end of the race, but what a charge by Lucas 36 to try and close in on Ears. And boy, Ears did just enough here today to make that strategy work for him. And kudos to Lucas 36, an extra pit stop and really closed the door up there, and almost made it exciting at the end of the race. So good job by all 10 of our drivers here. 2 drivers unable to finish the race here in behind pit wall today, but 8 managing to finish it here under their own steam and their own power. Jakey and, of course, Streeter Tom will get those cars into the garages in the in-between racing rounds. They'll get them sorted out. They'll have them guys right back on track again for round 8. And hopefully running in 100% condition. So great job there by King Ears. Good strategy, 2-stop just worked out for him. Lucas 36 gave him a run for his money. V-Rod with a great race finish here today. Ishmael as well with a great run there in 4th place. Little Nicky definitely put the charge on, but just ran out of time in the race to try and get that extra position. Cusker right there with great pace here today as well. Pickham's solid 7th place finish here for him. Noir coming in with an 8th place finish as well. And racing is racing. You just never know what's going to happen in racing. You see that crew looking a little disappointed there in that car, but it is what it is. And like I said, they'll have it ready and up and running again for next week. Every once in a while, man, they work, Nolander. They work. Absolutely. So there's a big congratulations to King Ears there with that race win. And we're just going to go take a look at our unofficial results here. So it is King Ears with the race win, Lucas with 2nd place, V-Rod in 3rd place, and again with the fastest lap on the track this weekend. We got Ishmael here in 4th, Little Nicky in 5th, Cusker in 6th, Piggums in 7th, Noir in 8th, Jakey in 9th, and Streeter Tom rounding out our field here in 10th and final position here today. And we're going to take about a 5-minute break or so here, ladies and gentlemen. Division 2 race should be wrapped up by now. We're going to go grab the production crew's replay of that race, and we're going to bring Division 2 right here live on Race Asylum and GT45 Gaming in just a few moments' time. So in the meantime, we're going to flip you over to the break screen, let you listen to a little bit of music. I don't remember what song is in there, so hopefully it's appropriate. Fingers crossed. And we'll be back in a few moments' time while we queue up Division 2's race. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back and we're queued up. So, we're going to flip that screen over and we're going to get right back at it. So, welcome back. Appreciate y'all for hanging out. Is the music appropriate? I don't know if the music was appropriate. I'll have to let you guys tell me that one. That was a good race. It was Poop Town, 100%. Cody coming in with the thumbs up. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so as promised, Division 2 on the docket here. So this race ran right beside the one we just watched live in front of our eyes. Hopefully it's as good, because that was a pretty incredible push by Lucas 36. So it's going to be interesting to see the strategies now in Lobby 2 compared to Lobby 1. Are we going to see 2 stops? Are we going to see 3 stops? Are we going to see 4 stops? Really hard to say. But let's go take a look at our starting grid. So unfortunately we don't have qualifying for you. I do apologize. And we're going to flip the screen. All right, we're on the right screen. That's fantastic. So we have Ray Racer in pole position. It's going to be Bar 27 in second place. It's going to be Floyd in third. It's going to be Hooley in fourth. It's going to be JP in fifth. It's going to be Maddie in sixth. It's going to be Cupcake in seventh. On the way in eighth. It's going to be Ken in ninth. It's going to be Johnny in 10th. It's going to be Matus in 11th. It's going to be Skunk in 12th. And it's going to be Rusty in 13th position. So 13 on the grid here in group number 2. What do you think, chat? Are we ready? I know I'm ready. I can't wait to see what Division 2 has compared to what our Division 1 guys just did in front of us. So, without further ado, kick them tires, light them fires. Let's go racing Lobby 2 style. Just want to make sure all the sounds and audio is okay. We're gay. We're green. We're green. We're green. I heard the ding. And it looks like everybody got a good race start here, much like Group 1. Great little start out the line, no false starts. And Ray Racer is going to get the whole shot there. Bar 27 is going to hold second place. Floyd is battling for third place there with Hooley. Hooley tried to get inside there. Ooh, a little bit of jostling for position there in the background is JP and Hooley now jostling for position coming in towards turns number 2 and 3. So Floyd is going to be up into second place here as he's trying to get the job done on the outside. And we're 3 deep coming out of turn number 3 there. I cannot believe everybody made that. Oh, it looked like we had one. On's way might have got a little bit loose in the corner there, but wow, everybody made that corner there as it got really clustered up. And Ray Racer, he's gone. I mean, he got a clear hole shot there. Nice, good, clean start, and he has not looked back. Floyd chasing here in second place. He's finally cleared in second place here, but he has JP trying to close back in on him here very quickly in third place. We got side-by-side battle here in fourth and fifth place between Bar and Maddie. And Maddie has gotten that job done, so he's going to move up into fourth place. Bar is going to drop down into fifth here. Cupcake now up into sixth place. He is chasing. We got Ken, our winner from last weekend's racing here in Division 2, up in seventh place right now. Johnny C here in 8th place. We got Rusty all the way from the back to 9th. We got On the Way in 10th, Matus in 11th. We got Skunk in 12th, and Hooley down into 13th position here. And maybe we didn't have a driver make that turn 2 or 3 accordion effect there. I'm not sure, but yeah, definitely a little bit behind the pack there. A good 10-15 seconds maybe made an early pit stop. Not really sure there, but on the back foot very, very early on here. So it's Ray Racer leading things off here. And he made a good charge last weekend, round number 6 there at Spa, coming very close there in second place. Floyd here had a pretty good race for himself last weekend as well, and Spa made a couple of mistakes late in the race and it cost him some position. So he's going to be looking for some redemption here in round number 7 at Red Bull Ring for sure. JP in third place here, moving and grooving, starting to lose that front mid pack here right now, trying to close back it, but on Floyd there in second place. There's about 1.5 seconds between the two drivers there. We got Maddie in fourth place, and there is a lineup of cars here from fourth place and on coming down the racetrack there. Cupcake's now up into fifth place, has managed to get around Bar 27, and now starting to put some pressure here on Maddie as well. So as we head into the S, Cupcake is tucked in, and let's see if he is going to try and maneuver himself for a pass heading into turn 1 here. Typically that's where we're going to see a lot of the moves here. Sometimes you'll see him move into turn 9 and 10 if there's an opening, but not very often is there an opening. It's a very high speed final sector, and And sometimes you think there's an opening just like that, and there isn't one, and you have to back out like Cupcake did there, just because the guy's in already committed on his turn in his line. It was great recognition, by the way, right there by Cupcake. And so usually you'll see these drivers wait for through the final sector. They'll try to get in the slipstream here, heading up into turn one, and they'll try to get something done into turn one, but not able to quite get close enough there. Bar 27 does, though, in the slipstream, and looking to get the job done here up the inside through turn one on Cupcake. And Bar is going to respond back on Cupcake there and move himself back up into 5th place. So just as we're talking about it, Bar 27 did exactly what we were talking about up on Cupcake and made that move heading into turn number 1. So now Ken in 7th place there. He's going to take a look as he goes up the inside into turn 3 on Cupcake, and that's a tough line in this BRZ as it unsettles the car in that little dip right there, but he manages to get the job done, and Cupcake loses 2 positions in 3 corners there. So in 7th place here, but early on in the race here. Some great scrapping happening early on here in this Division 2 race, isn't it? Oh, and there we go. Johnny's going to take a big look there. Sorry, Skunk's going to take a big look there, I think, on Johnny. Or is that on the way? That was on the way there. And takes a big line into turn number 4 and manages to hold out there. So Skunk here in 10th place. We got Matus in 11th. We got Rusty. He's been having an up and down race here, apparently. He's down into 12th there. He was up in 9th at one moment there. And Hooley here in 13th position has closed back up on the pack. He's a fairly efficient, consistent racer, so don't count him out of this race by far yet. Very early on. We're only on lap 3, so starting lap 4 here as Ray Racer comes around, fastest lap on track, 1:30.768 here currently. Floyd in 2nd place. You can see Ray Racer up there just heading around turn 1, and he has JP still solidly fixed in the review mirror of that chrome BRZ here right now. And JP's just chilling right there. He's just on the edge of that slipstream right now. Hasn't let Floyd get anywhere. And if Floyd makes a mistake, JP is definitely going to be there to try and capitalize. Bar 27 now has moved up into 4th place here. And he's got about 1.5 to 2 seconds to the podium there right now. But he has got Ken and Cupcake still very hot on his heels here. And as these guys are in 5th and 6th place, and On's Way is starting to close in here too as well, just off in the background. And he brings along Johnny C with him. In behind those guys is Matty. He is a little bit of a gap here now to the mid pack there. We got Skunk in 10th place. We got Matus in 11th. We got Rusty just in behind, a couple seconds in 12th, and really about 1.5 seconds in behind them. So the bottom 6 drivers closing up quickly here. So I didn't see any pit stops early on in the race like we did in Div 1, but that doesn't mean they didn't happen. We don't see everything. Alright, so Ray Racer coming around turn 10 here on lap number 4, and he is going to continue up the track here in 1st place, and looking good right now as he's trying to, what's the word I'm looking for here? Manage the race pace. Floyd in 2nd place. He's got JP tucked right in behind there in 3rd place, and it's a give. Ooh, big slide there from Heathen. He has to gather that car up. Oh boy, that was a great save right there by Heathen as he comes around turn 1, and that is going to be JP to take over in 2nd place there. And Bar 27 now is going to close up on Heathen there. That was a great save right there. Oh boy, he was pedaling that car, something fierce, and yanking on that steering wheel, tell you what. But he managed to keep it going, so he only lost 1 position some time, but Bar 27 is now on his case. He is tucked right in underneath the rear wing essentially here with Floyd now as we head down into turn number 4. And are we going to see a potential move? He does go take a look up the inside, but he just settles in behind Heathen there as they come around turn number 4, and they continue on the track. So he's getting some clean air in the race car, and he continues up the road. Ken here in 5th place. A little bit of space in between him and Bar and the front pack there. We got On's Way right in behind him there as well in 6th place. And then, ooh, a little bit wide coming into the S's there. He gathers it back up, though he just keeps it on the track edge. You definitely don't want to get those tires out in the grass or the sand on the S's here, because it's just quicksand. It just pulls you in. So that was a great job there for him just to reel the car in there and managed to keep his spot as well. So Johnny's going to close up a little bit, obviously, with that mistake, but it wasn't a crucial cost there for On's Way, thankfully for him there, and he's going to continue to cruise. So it's Cupcake here in 8th place. He is just in behind Johnny C here right now. We've got TLR's Matty. He's closing in on those two up in front. He's slowly but surely just been chipping away a 10th here and a 10th there at those two as they are moving up the strong front straight here right now. Skunk in 10th place. He's got about 3 seconds to that pack up in front, but doing a great job at managing this last pack here. Matusa in 11th place, and he's got Rusty all up in his business here right now as he gets a great run through turn 1 there, but didn't go inside to make the pass there, so seems content just to sit in behind and give a little push here, a little help to his competitor up in front, Matusa and Hooley here closing in. He is going to take the inside line here now coming into turn number 3 though, and Hooley's going to take a look there as well, try to follow him in, but that line was closed off there by Matusa as he came around the corner. Hooley had to check up just a smidge there, and he's going to settle right in behind Matusa. So Hooley tried to follow Rusty through there, but the hold wasn't quite there. So Hooley's still charging up here and still got some ground to make up, but slowly but surely he is just making his way up to racetrack. So it is Ray Racer now with a big gap. We're looking at 10, maybe 12-second gap here currently on the field right now as he comes to start lap number 7. He's literally crossing the start-finish line right now. And JP is just coming into turn number 10 right now. So that is a fair-sized gap here. It's the whole front straightaway right now, and I'm not sure what happened there, but Ray is definitely moving. He's got about he's about a second and a half faster than the rest of the pack right now. Bar 27 here is in 3rd place. Obviously, we've seen him gain on Heathen with Heathen's mistakes. He's recently gotten around him now, so he's actually started to open a gap up on Floyd here. So now Bar is trying to, of course, close that gap up on JP in 2nd place up in front. Floyd, however, I'm sure has other ideas and thinking, hold on now, I'm coming back at you here. I want 3rd place back. So, and he gets a good gain there under braking. Ooh, and oh boy, the mistake right there. And again, he gathers that car up, keeps it out of trouble. A little bit of a scary moment there, but now he's got that pack coming. And oh boy, that mid-pack is charging. And oof. Just a tough one there, and he even sees the car coming. He's going to slip right in behind Ken. That was very smart thinking right there. Take advantage of some slipstream there. Is those dirty tires, and he's going to get past there. Nope, he closed the door on the way there. On the way definitely was taking a look, but there was nowhere to go there for him, and he had to just sit in behind. So great defense there by Floyd. And Floyd is fighting for his life here early on in this race right now, but he's just got to get his rhythm back, get in behind that wheel, settle in, and just continue doing what he's doing here. He's got good pace. Got on his way here in 6th place. Cupcake right in behind him. Oh, Johnny, what was that Cupcake? Oh, it was Cupcake. They're just like in that dirty air there. They just lost the back end of his car there. Oh, we got one car shooting off like a rocket there off in the distance as well. So a couple of moments here for a couple of our drivers. It's Ray Racer here in the lead, and he's gone right now. I mean, he's just gone. He's in a very good position currently at the race in the racetrack here at the moment. Got JP here in the 2nd position. We got Bar 27 here in 3rd place, and the gap is about 3, maybe I'm going to say 4 seconds to JP up ahead of him there. And then the gap between him and Ken and Floyd is 10 seconds or so, so podium comfortable right now. Battling here though between Floyd and Ken, and Floyd goes in deep on the brakes, and Ken's going to go switcheroo here and take that position right back. So a good defense there by Ken. Sometimes the best offense is a good defense. So Heathen went deep into the corner there, just couldn't quite manage the corner, and that allowed, of course, for Ken to set up an inside exit and get down on the power a little bit earlier than Heathen, of course, get the job done. But Floyd is right back on the back bumper. Boy, this is scrappy between 4th and 5th place here right now, Ken and Floyd, and a little bit of a bump there from Floyd as he got a better entry into the S's here, and this is some good hard racing right now between Floyd and Ken. And ooh, Floyd goes real wide there, but manages to keep the car underneath of him there. And let's see if Race Control takes liberties to that or not. And nope, Race Control is going to let the boys race today, it looks like here. So coming into turn 10, are we going to see it? Floyd needs to get the run here in order to take advantage now of the long straight here and try to get something happening in turn 1. You got bar 27 just up ahead of them there, so they can still see the third place driver up ahead here, but the more these two continue to fight hard like this, obviously the more time that's going to allow the podium guys to gain. And oh boy, Floyd again having issues on the exit of turn 1. Huge wiggle, and not only that, that huge wiggle forced him outside of the track exit, and he's going to pick up a half-second penalty on top of this. So the race stewards didn't take too kindly to that, apparently, and I think that's an unjust penalty right there for Floyd, and that's unfortunate for him, because that's going to allow On His Way and Maddie to really close up when he goes to serve that penalty. We got Johnny C here in 8th place. We got Rusty right there in 9th. We got Cupcake in 10th. These three have been close together all race long. The two's just a little off the pace here. We got Wooly in 12th place there. Still just chilling in behind there. We've got Skunk in 13th position here as well. And he has made a pit stop, I believe it looks like, there as well. So some spicy Division 2 racing here, much like we saw last week, very, very early on. These guys, they send it. The Pro-Am is essentially what we like to call Division 2 in my eyes, and the Pro-Ams always provide some of the best racing action in my experience as a commentator. We have commentated a few hundred races, I think, now over the last 3.5 years, so the Pro-Ams just always produce great action. So yeah, what can we say? Division 2, man. Making it spicy tonight. Making it spicy. Great way to finish off a racing night, in my opinion, that's for sure. JP here in 2nd place, and I mean, Ray's still got a good gap, but I'm not going to say he's really opening it up anymore. If anything, I think JP might be dipping into that gap from our race leader right now. Bar 27 in 3rd place here. Doesn't seem like he's gaining any on JP, but if he's not losing anything on our 2nd place driver, that means they're both gaining on the race leader. Ken here in 4th place, and he has gained himself a small cushion on Floyd in 5th place in behind here now, so these two have settled down a little bit. Ken has opened up the gap a little bit there to try and give himself some breathing room on Floyd, and Floyd is now on, of course, the path to trying to close that gap back up and re-engage this fight for currently 4th place on the racetrack. On his way in 6th place, he's had a good feisty early on race, and he's sitting in the mid-pack right now in a good position here. He's moving, he's grooving, he's chilling. You can see the guys up ahead. He's got Maddie in behind, but he isn't closing in any. So he's just maintaining that gap to the 7th place driver right now, and that is perfect. That means very closely paced drivers, and hopefully that means that the driver's not watching that rearview mirror too much and paying attention to what's going on in front of the race car and not behind the race car. We got some Rusty getting in all kinds of crazy here, and oh my, he is just trying to hold on to that car, and he's going to recover with a nice fancy 360 spin out of the grass there. Boy, oh boy, was that a ride right there, and great job there as he continues moving in a forward direction. So gonna have some dirty tires here, and you can see that as he goes wide. That's not going to be unfortunate. He's probably going to suffer a half-second penalty for that, unfortunately, but great save right there by Rusty as he worked hard to save that car there. And you know what, thank you, race control, they were kind to him there and realized that that definitely was not an advantage at a gain there, cutting the track. So Hooley here at 11th place, we got Matus in 12th, and Skunk here in 13th, and whew, scary moments in Div 2 here, ladies and gentlemen, but great finish there to get himself back on track with that reverse 360 spin to get himself in the right direction. So Ray Racer here in 1st place, and then again, it's about a 10-12 second gap, I figure, maybe 15 to 2nd and 3rd place drivers JP and Bar, and just in control right now. JP here in 2nd place, looking real strong. Again, just maintaining the gap to 3rd place, Bar 27, and trying to close up on Ray Racer there in front. And it's hard to say what that gap really is, because as you get into these straightaways, it looks like he is most certainly closing in on our race leader here. As we come through turns 9 and 10, I'll get a better gauge because of where they are in the straightaway. Ray Racer's actually, I think, gained a little bit of time on JP here currently. Bar 27 is about the same behind JP. It's very close, very similar pace to two drivers. Ken here in 4th place, about the same, but Floyd is starting to just nip away at that cushion that Ken had built up there. So he's not right there ready to attack yet, but definitely in the slipstream range here now. On the way, however, has been doing a great job of tracking these two drivers up ahead of Floyd and Ken in 4th and 5th place. He's just been doing his thing very quietly. He's kind of just kept the car out of trouble and just tried to keep it ahead of the pack by chasing him behind him. And by doing so, he's actually gaining on 4th and 5th place here. So some good driving there by On the Way. Matty here, he's just in behind On the Way and losing touch just a little bit with that driver up in front right now. Johnny C here in 8th place has lost just a little bit of touch with Matty, but Cupcake is still in the grasp of Slipstream here with, of course, Johnny C. So very similar pace between these two drivers here. We got Rusty in 10th place, and it has been a very crazy race for this driver here so far tonight. Hooley here in 11th place. We've got Skunk in 12th, and Matus just coming out of pit lane from a pit stop here in the 13th position. So it's Ray Racer coming around there. He's actually just come up beside Matus in 13th position here. Now, of course, difference in the amount of pit stops made so far, and the driver's not that slow, ladies and gentlemen. It's just different pit stop strategies right now, and that has put the leader out in front because he has yet to make a pit stop in the race. Some of our drivers potentially have already made 2 pit stops in the race, depending if they're on a 2-stop or 3-stop strategy here today. So JP here rolling through in 2nd position. We're almost 19 minutes into this race. Boy, it doesn't seem like it's been that long. It has been some good action so far. Bar 27 here in 3rd place, and he has closed up JP a little bit here. So I don't know if JP just made a little bit of a mistake or if Bar 27's just got a better lap there. I think he just made a little mistake. And Bar 27's closed up a little bit here. We got Ken in 4th place, and that gap is still about 8-9 of a second between him and Floyd right now. So Floyd is just on the edge of the slipstream range right now. And there's not huge long runs on Red Bull Ring, so it's really hard to kind of use slipstream to your advantage. You really need to set 9 and 10 up for that run up the front straight to your advantage, and that's the spot. I mean, that's the spot where you really need to try and set slipstream up to your advantage here on Red Bull. On his way in 6th place. The S's is a good spot to make up time too if you're really efficient through those S's, and he hooked that curb right there. And you know, we've heard the drivers talk about how these cars are very unsettled at the curbs here at Red Bull Ring, and that was a perfect example there. All he did was just went to go ride that red and white on the rumble strip to get a nice, good, tight line through there, and it just hooked that car. This car is so low to the ground, and there's so much aerodynamic package on the front and back end of these Group 3 BRZs that it just grabbed that car and it just hooked it. And he did a really good job of gathering it up and not letting it turn him around there, but it definitely cost him some time to Matty, and Matty is definitely well in that slipstream here now, as he's within about 3/4 of a second and behind that driver. Johnny C here in 8th place has given up just a little bit on Cupcake, and Cupcake is kind of starting to use that slipstream to pull himself in to the driver up in front as well. Rusty in 10th place here. He's got a little bit of time to make up there. It's about 8-9 seconds to those drivers up in front, but a lot of drivers have yet to pit as well. Hooley in 11th, Skunk in 12th, and in that great Incredibles livery here. We'll see if we can get the camera guy to get us a good close-up on these liveries. They really are fantastic, aren't they? Look at those things. Just beautiful shot of that livery. And Matus here in 13th position here as well. So the drivers are definitely putting in some good seat time here tonight. Hey, what's going on, Brandon? How's it going, buddy? I posted it in the Discord, in the GT45 Discord server, what the plan was for today. Not my fault you guys didn't read it. Turn your notice on. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So Ray Racer here in 1st place. We got JP here in 2nd. So, where is Ray? Ray's coming into turn 1, and JP is just coming into the back straight. So, Ray Racer definitely very well in control of this race right now. Bar 27 here in 3rd place. He is trying to close in, obviously, on JP. He hasn't made any significant gains there since the last time we were checking on these two, but he is definitely there. A couple seconds, maybe 2.3, 2.4 seconds away from the back end of the 2nd place driver here currently. We got Ken in 4th place here, tracking as well. He had a race win last round at Spa. Very good performance here from Ken. And he's still got Floyd just in tow here in the back end. So Floyd is kind of settled down a little bit here now as the race has progressed. And he's just really working hard, just slowly but surely, just chipping away at Ken up in front. And non-battling over the last few laps now, it should allow these guys to start working on trying to close up the podium up in front of them. And of course, on the way, I mean, he's been tracking these guys for quite a few laps here now, and slowly but surely just seems to be dipping away at that time gap. So they do need to consider that as well, because he brings a whole line of cars with him. He's got Matty just a couple seconds in behind. Matty's got Johnny C and Cupcake right in behind. Cupcake, unfortunately, Johnny, unfortunately, pardon me, with a half-second track limit penalty. He's actually going to have to serve that penalty just as we get through the S's coming up the hill here. And that's served by a pretty beautiful feature here in Gran Turismo 7. It's called the Electronic Enforcement Penalty Serving Zone. And what it is, essentially, in real life, what it would be a wire underneath the racetrack. And of course, Cupcake should grab that position with the penalty being served there from Johnny. But Johnny got a pretty good run, and Cupcake's actually going to dive into pit lane. So that was an interesting sequence of events there. But back to what I was saying. The Electronic Enforcement Penalty Serving Zone, essentially, in real life, what that would be is it would be a wire underneath the racetrack that reads what we call a transponder unit in racing. And what a transponder unit is just a little box that's about the size of a juice box. And you turn a switch on, and it turns a light on, and it slips into a pouch that's attached to the frame of your race car, and it gets strapped into that pouch. So every time that unit goes over a live timing sector or the start-finish line somewhere where there's a live wire that reads that unit, that's what tells the computer in race control tower on the racetrack where the drivers are, what their lap times are, what their sector times are, what their speeds are. That's what gives them all those beautiful little tidbits of information they bring across to us during those amazing broadcasts that they do in real life. So essentially, the Electronic Enforcement Penalty Serving Zone is exactly that same thing, but in our virtual world. So it would be a line underneath the racetrack that responds to race control slapping a penalty on that transponder unit. So when that driver comes across that penalty serving zone, the job of that penalty serving zone is to cut the engine power of the racing car. So it will cut the power completely off to the driver's racing car for the amount of time designated by race control from the tower, and as soon as that time frame is up, it will automatically restore the power to the driver's car, and the driver can continue on with their race. So really, at the end of the day, it's up to the driver just to make sure they're in the right gear at that point to continue on once that power cutoff turns the car engine back on for them. So it's a very cool feature. It makes it very easy for race officials to manage during live races, and of course for post-race officiating afterwards. So it's a great feature here in Gran Turismo 7, and we like to talk about it here, but that is what the process of course, that those two yellow flags on the side of the racetrack on every racetrack, that is the purpose of what those flags are there for. It's just an automated way for race control to control track limit infractions, pit lane penalty infractions, and some of the simpler penalties that are handed out during live racing. So we've seen some pit stops happening here. Now that I've bored you to death with our Electronic Enforcement Penalty Serving Zone, let's get back to what's happening on the racetrack. We got JP here in first place now, so he's taken over the race lead as Ray Racer has made a pit stop. Ken's in second place here, as of course the drivers up in front of him have made a pit stop as well. And we're going to be seeing pit stops happening from these drivers here relatively soon as well. You guys can see what I can see at home there. You can see the fuel, you can see the tire wear on the bottom side of the screen. And you can see JP is going to come into pit lane. That was a dicey pit entry there, actually, and they may actually potentially pick him up a penalty there. A much better entry there from Ken. We got On the way coming in there as well, so that's going to give Ray Racer the race lead back, and it's going to be interesting to see what that gap's going to be. So drivers are definitely on interesting strategies. We're seeing very similar strategies to our Division 1 winner here right now on the racetrack. Not quite exactly the same, a little bit the same. Rusty's also coming in for a pit stop. Bar 27 pit a lap prior to the drivers that are currently sitting in pit lane, so should potentially be able to pick up second place here. Now JP was ahead of Bar 27 here when he went into pit lane. You can see JP is on the way out of pit lane. The question is where does Bar 27 come out in relation as he comes around to turn one on a spicy corner there in relation to JP. So he does still slot in behind JP, and the gap is about the same. So The undercut didn't gain or lose bar any time there. However, with that being said, On Zaway is a big winner there in that pit stop run because he was in 6th place before this pit stop sequence. He has now moved himself up in the 4th place with a big moment right there on those cold racing tires. And he's only about 3 seconds in behind the podium right now. So Ken finds himself now chasing On Zaway here in 5th place, and Floyd in 6th place still in behind Ken, losing just a smidge of time in behind him in pit stops as well. Cupcake does well there as well in the pit stop sequence. He finds himself up in 7th place, so he grabs a couple of spots as Matty's now in 8th and Johnny drops down to 9th. Rusty is still sitting in 10th. Oof, the 3-second pit lane penalty. You hate to see it. Hooley there in 11th place, Matus in 12th, and Skunk here in 13th. And that 3-second penalty seems like an eternity as a race car driver. When you cross that enforcement line, you really feel like you could go for a nap and come back and then finally continue on your race. It just seems like an eternity, that 3 seconds. So Ray Racer very much in command of this race right now in first place. We got bar 27 here in the 2nd position. Did manage to get around JP there, so JP's in 3rd place. We got On Zaway here in the 4th position. We got Ken here now in 5th, and I mean, he's there. He can see them guys, and Floyd is there too. He can see Ken, but Ken is much more up in the distance than he was before the pit stops, so Ken's got a little breathing room from Floyd in a sense, but Ken is definitely sees those guys up ahead, so he's probably going to be trying to track in there. We got Cupcake and Matty here in 7th and 8th place, and Matty has closed up on Cupcake quite quickly since the pit stops here. Let's see if we see a battle coming into turn number 3 here. Let's see if we see a defense from Cupcake as we head in towards turn number 3. Yeah, Cupcake's chill. He's just going to take the racing line here. Matty doesn't seem too in a hurry at this exact second to make that move right there. I think these guys are probably still getting some air temp into these tires and just maybe feeling comfortable with how the car feels underneath of them yet. I'm sure we'll see some racing between the two drivers here once those cars feel scrubbed in, as we like to call it. Got Johnny here in 9th place. We got Rusty in 10th. We got Hooley here in 11th. So he's been doing a good job at just continuing to track on the racetrack here. Got Matus in 12th place, and Skunk is closing in here in 13th. So he's served that penalty, and it's about 2 seconds, a little less than 2 seconds to 12th place driver Matus there. So battles all through the field here, and you can see the leaders catching up on these two drivers here right now. So Ray Racer 129.598 that time around, so that was a good, nice, solid lap there from him as he comes around turn number 3. And a mistake made there by Matus, and I thought he was had some serious damage here, but I think he was just letting the race leader go through there after a mistake. I think he made a mistake coming out of the corner a little bit there potentially. Ray Racer there in the lead, and we got bar 27 here in 2nd place. He's just coming around turn number 3 right now, so there is definitely a solid gap between 1st and 2nd place, and then On Zaway here in 3rd place. So he's managed to get around JP here, so JP's moving downward here in the order in this middle part of the race here currently right now. But that don't mean nothing. There is a lot of racing left. We have 29 minutes remaining. A little bit of a bump there on Zaway there. JP checks up to make sure that he doesn't pass that driver. That was great respect right there shown by JP. That was definitely a mistake made there as he got sucked in under braking there on that driver, which created the contact. We call that overspeed in the slipstream. And I mean, Ken, he's kind of the big winner out of that deal. He didn't get involved in it, and he definitely got to close up all that distance he's been working on trying to close up on the two drivers here. So podium is in reach now for Ken right now here in the middle part of this race as it stands right now. Floyd in 6th place here. He's right in that mid pack. He's got a little bit of distance on the rest of the group, but we do have a driver coming in for a pit stop, and it was On Zaway coming into pit lane there, so making his first stop of the day. Cupcake's coming around in 7th place, and he has Matty still very close in behind, and Johnny is closing up on those two drivers here now as well in that AW BMZ. Love that. Looks like a group here. Makes me thirsty. We we got Rusty right here in 10th position, and I just love that incredible livery. Really big fan of it. Looks fantastic. Hooley's going to come around here. He's in the S's. He's in 12th place. He's got a half-second penalty there, and then we'll see this penalty zone in action there. So boom, power off, power back on. Driver continues on. Half-second penalty doesn't look that aggressive, but I assure you that costs you about 8/10 of a second here on the racetrack as your driver's chasing it behind. We got Skunk in 12th place and Matus here in 13th, not that far off the backside of Skunk there as well. So lots of racing to be had by all our drivers here in Division 2 with, what, 27.5 minutes remaining, give or take? Alright, so Ray Racer is right there, and Bar is right there. So that's a half a racetrack gap currently between first and second place. So that is a big gap. It's definitely Ray Racer's race to lose at this point in the race. Bar 27 here in second place. We got JP here in third, and that gap is significant. It's about 10 seconds right now. Not quite that whole front straight, but as JP crosses the start-finish line and Bar comes around turn one a little bit sideways, that gap will close up slightly, but it was about 10 seconds. JP here in third place, and you gotta give these drivers some creds today, man. They have gathered these race cars up very well today when these race cars have gotten unruly. We haven't seen any real hard hits here out of Division 2 yet. We got Ken here in 5th place, we got Johnny here in 6th. We've got battle happening here at Cupcake Matty and Rusty all of a sudden here in the conversation in 9th place. So Johnny C has actually moved up into 6th place. He's jumped ahead of all three of these drivers now. And this is a three-way battle for 7th, 8th, and 9th position here between Cupcake Matty and Rusty. So here we go as Cupcake comes around turn number 3. Great exit right there from Cupcake. And ooh, Rusty and Matty. I'm not sure what happened. Matty is coming out of the grass there, so not sure if there was contact or if he just made a mistake under throttle there, but he finds himself now on the back end of that three-way fight and having to close up a little bit of a gap there on his way here in 10th place after making a pit stop, of course. We got Skunk here in 11th. We got Matus in 12th place. And having a much better race this week than last week. Last week, a little bit of a struggle, but definitely racing much better here this week around as well. So week by week, really that's the important thing as the league organizers. Now I'm not speaking on behalf of RA, obviously, but as a league organizer myself as well, the one thing we love to see is our racers show, even if it's the smallest amount of improvement from week to week, that's what we love to see as league organizers. That means that the group's working together, the drivers are learning and are having fun. So big improvement from last week to this week from Matus, in my opinion. So keep doing what you're doing, keep putting work in, my man. You'll be right there fighting with these guys in no time. Ray Racer here in first place, and this guy's on a different level today. He is just moving around this racetrack here. Got Bar 27 here in second position. Ooh, another spicy moment here brought to you by TT Racing in that BRZ, and Bar 27 definitely pushing that car right now on those hard racing tires. We got JP here sitting in third position. We got Floyd here. Oof, having a little bit of a moment himself there coming out of turn number 4 as we head towards the S's. And he's trying to chase JP now here. So got Ken in 5th place. Now the role's kind of reversed. Floyd's made it away around Ken, so now Ken's got to track Floyd back down and try to get around Floyd. So these two are nice and close together again here. Should potentially create for some great battling on the racetrack like they've given us already here tonight. It is the best reward, I agree, Rachel, 100%. Johnny C here in 6th place. We got Cupcake in 7th. We got Rusty right in behind him there in 8th place. Matty here in 9th. That was unfortunate turn 3 there. We didn't quite catch what happened there, but he had to gather himself up, and he's back on the track here, so on his way in 10th. Skunk in 11th place. We got Matus in 12th place, and that gap isn't that big. I mean, it's about 6 seconds between the two drivers there. And Hooley here in 13th position. Pardon me, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so Ray Racer here, doing Ray Racer things here today. He is flying around Red Bull Ring. Give me one moment. I need a drink of water, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, I think we got all that under control now. I'm back. Thank you for waiting. Appreciate the patience. Alright, so Ray Racer there as we're following there. Definitely a mistake into turn number 3 there. I can't believe he actually didn't get a half-second track limit penalty for that, as he was most certainly all the way on the outside of that sausage curb, but race control, or race officials, obviously determining that he didn't gain an advantage out there, so that's probably why they didn't give him the penalty. Bar 27 here in second place, and it's just still about a half a racetrack between the two, so nothing really gained, nothing really lost. It's hard to tell when there's that much of a gap between the two. We got JP here in third place. Now, the gap is due to tire difference, obviously. Different strategies, different pit stop sequences. Because they're on different tires, it's going to create them stopping at different times. So, Ray Racer most certainly has a comfortable gap in the lead of this race, but how comfortable that gap is, it's hard to say at this point. We got Floyd in fourth place here. He is still trying to track JP. He's just coming up with Matus there. Matus just gets out of the racing line there and just allows the driver to go through. So great job there by Matus. Ken there in fifth place, still chasing Floyd down, and Johnny is hot on the chase here in sixth place right now. He is closing on Ken very quickly here. And looking maybe to try and get around. He has been working hard at closing up here over the last couple of laps, so I'm thinking that he is going to be looking for a pass on Ken here in fifth place very shortly, but he has to catch him first. And, well, he's definitely done that. He is on him here as he had a nice exit coming out of the S's there. He was right on the back bumper of Ken, and really he needs to really get a good 9 and 10 here so he can maximize the straightaway. And oh boy, I think there was some confusion right there between the two drivers. I think Johnny went to go make a inside pass on Ken, and Ken was coming into pit lane, so Ken went to make a turn into pit lane, and Johnny was right there. So oof, that was unfortunate. There's some miscommunication by the two drivers there, and unfortunately for Johnny, he spun out into the wall there, but car's still moving in a forward direction, and that's brought Rusty into the mix here. So this is very quickly becoming a three-way battle now between Johnny, Matty, and Rusty for 5th, 6th, and 7th place. And boy, this has been some tough racing here in Div 2 tonight. Ooh, doggy. No, second place. TT's in second. Alright, so Johnny C in 5th place. We got Matty here in 6th, and we got Rusty in 7th. The gap between those three drivers is about 2, maybe 2.2 seconds tops. Rusty, closing in very quickly on Matty. Matty was right in on the back bumper of Johnny there, but Johnny has gotten those tires cleaned off and gotten back into the rhythm right away here. He's trying to open that gap back up. On his way here in 8th position, we got Skunk here in 9th. We got Cupcake just in behind there in 10th place. And of course, some more pit stops have happened. We got Bar and JP making pit stops right now. Speaking of pit stops, we got Ken, who's just going to the pit stop there. He's in 11th. We got Hooli in 12th, and we got Matus here in 13th position. So Ray Racer has not made another pit stop yet. He is still out on track. He's probably going to be out for about 3 or 4 more laps yet, it looks like, based off fuel. We got Floyd now up in the second place. Of course, pit stop sequence is starting to kind of take effect and kicking into the race here. Johnny C in 3rd place now, as he still has Matty and Rusty very close in tow here. And it's going to be interesting to see how this race finishes. Definitely varying strategies from the drivers here on track. We got Matty in 4th. He's about a half second in behind Johnny right now. And Rusty's about 6/10, maybe 3/4 of a second in behind Matty. So three-way battle here. Currently for third, fourth, and fifth place, and Bar 27 is just off in the background, off the back of this battle after making his pit stop there. So, potential four-way battle happening here. We got a little bit of lag going on there. It looks like as the drivers are coming through that corner, and it looks like it's coming from Maddie a little bit there. Got Bar 27 here in 6th place. We got JP in 7th position. We've got Onzaway here in 8th. We've got Skunk in 9th. We've got Cupcake here in 10th position. We've got Ken in 11th. We've got Hooli here rocking and rolling in 12th place. We got Matus right here in 13th position, so it is Ray Racer, and then the man has been in control of this race right from the green flag. Pretty much been untouchable up to this point, so we'll see if that continues to be the case for the next 17 minutes. Got Floyd in 2nd place. It's all in how you approach every race, Aaron. Remember that. It's all in how you come into it and what you expect of it. It really determines on how much fun you're going to have in the race. Just keep that in your mind, my man. 2nd place is Floyd, looking pretty solid here right now. He has a pretty solid gap on 3rd place, Johnny C right now as well. Johnny C, however, not so comfortable, as Rusty and Maddie are now battling for 4th and 5th place here. So Rusty has gotten an inside move in turn 4 on Maddie, so Rusty's going to swap spots with Maddie here, and the chase is still on in behind Johnny C here. So I mean, Johnny C can't breathe easy here. Those guys are right there. I mean, the edge of their headlights are just nipping right at the back end of his tires there, so they are most certainly close enough to make something happen here. Got Bar 27 here. He's in 6th place, and he's been trying to close in on these guys since his pit stop here. And it's hard to tell whether or not he's been gaining on them or not here, as it's only been about a lap and a half. But in the background of that three-way battle for 3rd place here right now, as all the drivers are entering and exiting turn number 10 to head to the start-finish line to start lap number 29. Ooh, a little bit of a wide exit there, and that may cost Bar 27 a penalty there. Nope. Stewart's let him get away with that one. Alright, we got JP here in 7th place, and a little bit of a glitch right there. So again, definitely a little bit of net coding happening in the lobby here during this race. The drivers seem to be managing it fairly well, though. On his way in 8th place, we got Skunk here in 9th position. That's a Cupcake right there in tow. Headlights are blazing on the trunk of that car right now, and he got a great run through turn 10 there. He's going to get a good run on Skunk here. Is he going to look for an inside move into turn number 1? And he's not quite close enough here. He might be looking maybe for an exit pass here, though, however. A great exit by both drivers, actually. They both take a great line through turn 1 there. And no real advantage to either one of the drivers there, except for Cupcake is in the slipstream. That's about the only difference. So that was great. Great job by those two. We got Ken coming in for a pit stop. Got Hooli's going to grab 11th there as Ken comes in the pit lane. Matus rolling there in 13th position as Ray Racer's just made his way around him there. And Ray Racer, of course, our race leader. So he is flashing on the fuel light here. Does that mean he's going to come in this time around? Well, let's stick with him here and see if that's the case. So we'll stick with our race leader. We'll take a ride along into pit lane and watch that pit crew do what these pit crews do best. And it doesn't look like he's going to be making that stop here this time. He's in that wide line coming into turn 9, so he's going to go around at least one more time. Got Rusty coming into pit lane right now, actually, in 6th place there. Got Floyd in 2nd position, and he's just moving and grooving. He's got a good gap right now on Johnny in 3rd place, so just got to keep staying nice and consistent and keep putting down good lap times there. And when the final pit stop sequence happens in anywhere from now to probably the next 10 minutes of the race here, we'll see where everybody settles in and see where the battles are going to be for the end of the race. We got Maddie here in 4th. Bar is now up in 5th, of course, with that pit stop from Rusty just a lap ago there. We got JP here still in 6th place. We got Onzaway in 7th. We got Rusty now in 8th after his pit stop there. We got Skunk in 9th with Cupcake in tow in 10th, and those two are close there on Rusty, so it could potentially quickly become a three-way battle. We We got Hooley there in 11th, and he's going to pick himself up a nice little half-second track limit penalty, and that's the way Red Bull Ring is. Ken here in 12th place, and Matus in 13th. So this man right now is just he is just dialed in. He's locked in. Car is dialed in. The car is locked in. As we said 40 minutes ago, really at this point, it's just this driver's race to lose. He has just seems to be on a whole different level than the field here. And he's going to come into pit lane here. You can see bar 27 just going around there. So Ray Racer has lapped half the field here in the race so far as well. So you see the crew's waiting. That guy on the ranch, he's like, come on, where is he? Let's go, let's go. And for such a short pit entry, it sure takes a long time for these cars to get in here. So here he comes, boom. Jacks are going to go up, tires are going to come off, new tires are going to go on. The guy's going to put that nut on, and the fuel man is going to do what the fuel man does. He is going to fill up that race car with that VP Racing fuel. And when that amount of liters is in that car, that lollipop man's going to release that driver. So here we go. Ray Racer coming out. We got another driver up in front there who's also coming out of pit lane. Not sure who that was. And it's going to be Ray Racer still coming out in the lead. So now, where does he come out in comparison to the rest of the field is the bigger question. Johnny is right here, and it's still half a lap. So again, Ray Racer's race to lose at this point. So Johnny C now in second place. Got bar 27 here in third. That leaves JP in fourth, and not entirely that far away. 7, maybe 8 seconds in behind the podium right now. And On's away tracking in behind. Floyd is in 6th place, and Floyd is closing in on Zaway here. We got Rusty in 7th position, Cupcake in 8th. So he has made his way around Skunk. Skunk is in 9th position. He's getting that blue flag waved at him there, as Matty is in 10th. We got Hooley here in 11th position. We got Ken in 12th, and Matus rounding out the field with the Michelin Man car. Love it. All right, but it's this man right here. This guy dominating here in Division 2 this weekend. Had a great race in Spa last week, and maybe he was disappointed that he didn't get the win last week. He definitely looked good, but just fell a little short. So he came back on a mission this week, and the mission was seek and destroy, apparently. And even with that half-second penalty, he has nothing to worry about at this point, as he had just gone his way around. I'm not sure who that was, but it might have been Johnny or Matty. I think that might be Matty's car. Got Johnny here in second place. Bar is chasing here in third. And, oh, is that JP? That is JP right there. And a mistake must have been made by Bar 27 there. And another mistake made by Bar 27. And it is door-to-door racing here for third place between JP and Bar 27. JP has the inside heading into the S's, and that should give him the position on Bar 27. Bar 27 gets a good run. He's going to tuck right back in behind JP here. And this is a battle for third place with just under 10 minutes remaining here. So a good fight here between JP and Bar 27 right now. JP gets a good run up the S's there and just opens up a small gap on Bar 27. But Johnny C coming in for a pit stop here, and that is now going to turn this into a two-way battle for second and third place as these two drivers come around the racetrack. JP with a half-second track limit penalty there, Bar with no penalty, so that may swap those positions back around again here next time around the racetrack. All right, Johnny in pit lane. On Zaway is going to come through, going to pick up 4th place. Floyd's going to pick up 5th place with that pit stop from Johnny C. And that late pit stop there is going to cost him 3 positions here so far on the track. We got Rusty Cupcake coming here. May very well get ahead of Johnny. Johnny has been released. He's going to be very close. He's going to be fighting those guys for that position when he comes out of pit lane. Matty in 9th place. Hooley in 10th. Skunk in 11th. Got Ken here in 12th place and Matus in 13th. I'm not sure what happened to Ken. He was doing really well in this race here, and seemed to be in the back of the pack here now, so I'm not sure what's happened there. But still got 3 weeks of racing left in this championship, so lots of time for these guys to fight it out here. But it is Ray Racer. I mean, we're just gonna hang out here at second and third place right now and watch this battle between JP and Bar 27 continue on, because as this penalty is served, Bar 27 is going to be able to, of course, to attempt to make his way around. Now, that half-second penalty isn't a huge penalty, so Bar27 needs to be close to take advantage of it, and he is probably going to hold that defensive line heading into turn number 9 is JP, but Bar27 has just a little more speed. He's just going to get around into the entry zone of turn 9. And heading into turn 10 here, let's see if JP gets a good enough run to try and respond back into turn number 1. So up to start-finish straight, there's definitely slipstream at play here. Are we going to see Slingshot engaged coming into turn 1? I don't think so. I don't think he's quite close enough to Bar here to make anything happen going into turn 1. But oh no, sideways on the exit there, and oh, JP's got to gather that thing up, and oh, it's in the grass, and those racing slicks in that grass just do not cooperate, and oh, that is unfortunate there for JP. Great battle there with Bar27, just gets it a little bit wrong, and that's going to cost him a couple positions there into turn 1, but he's back on track, and he's back on the way. So on his way, finds himself all of a sudden in 3rd place now, and Floyd finds himself in 4th place looking at 3rd place up there, so that may change this fight a little bit. We got JP here in 5th place as well. We got Rusty right there in 6th. We got Johnny in 7th. He is tucked in behind Rusty. We got battles all over this racetrack at the end of the race. Fantastic. Maddie here in 9th. We got Hooli in 10th. We got Skunk in 11th. Ken here in 12th. And we got Matus in 13th. So let's find these fights. Let's go see the fights. Sounds good, Kilty. I'm hungry too. We got Ray Racer here in 1st place. We got Bar27 here in 2nd position. No pressure now here in behind him. So just got to bring it home here with 6 minutes and 20 seconds remaining on his way. Much of the same thing here in 3rd place. He's got a couple second gap, so it's not a comfortable cushion, but he is in 3rd place and just needs to continue doing exactly what he's been doing all race long. Floyd is chasing in 4th place here, and he's hunting. I mean, he's tracking now with what have we got left? 6 minutes to go as these two cross start finish line. We got about 5 laps remaining. JP here, he's at a good pace all race long. Don't count this guy out yet in this fight yet either, I don't think. He's definitely going to be a little bit frustrated about that mistake, and we're going to want to try and see if he can gain any of that back. So he's probably going to be pushing it. Oh, there it is again. Rusty losing it into the corner 1 there. Gathers it up a little bit quicker than unfortunately JP did there, but that's going to cost him time to Johnny, and now that's going to spice it up this fight for 6th and 7th and 8th place here between these 3 drivers potentially as well. So we got 3 battles cooking here. 4 battles cooking here. So we've got Maddie and Hooli in 9th and 10th place looking to fight for position here at the end of the race as well potentially. So got some good battles happening on the racetrack here right now. Ray Racer is cruising. Bar27 here, he's just heading uphill out of the S's here right now, and on his way he's just heading into the S's, so a decent gap there between 2nd and 3rd place. But boy, Floyd has reeled in on his way, and a massively wide entry there from on his way. It allows Floyd to close up the rest of that gap, and boy, oh boy, here we go. It's defensive driving now for on his way in 3rd place here, as Floyd is right there. He's definitely in the conversation. He's going to get that nice line through turn 9, a good setup for turn 10, and Floyd is on the back bumper of On's Away, and it is game on here, ladies and gentlemen. This is a battle for the final podium position here, and it is Slingshot engaged right there. He was going to cover him off, but Floyd had the run, so here we go, side by side into turn number 1. Floyd's going to go in deep. That's going to compromise his exit on the wide exit, and it's going to be a cutback attempt here from On's Away, and we're side by side hitting through turns 2 into turn number 3, and On's Away has that inside advantage. So this is great scrapping here for 3rd place right now, and JP's right there, just off in the background. He is watching this fight happen, going, yes boys, battle, 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 and ooh, Floyd almost lost it there, but he manages to gather it up. That's going to cost him a little bit of time there. On's Away, and On's Away for the time being has fended off the charge from Floyd for 3rd place, but now JP is in this conversation, and boy, this is very quickly become a 3-way battle for that final podium position. Rusty here in 6th place. He's not entirely too far away. If a big mistake happens, he could possibly pick up a couple pieces there, but it's definitely game on up in the top end there. Hooli in pit lane here. So it's Ray Racer here in first position and flying. We've got Bar 27 here in second and looking good here as well. This is where the action is, right here in third, fourth, and fifth place right now on the racetrack. So we are going to stick with this here for the last 3 minutes of the race, because most certainly some great stuff happening right here on this final podium battle. Ooh, that's a wide exit coming out of turn 10 there for Floyd, and that could potentially cost him a look from the race officials there, but it looks like they let him go. And JP, he's just back there. He's pushing hard too. You can see he's taking some wide lines there. Ooh, that was some commitment from On the Way right there. He committed that curve hard on the inside of turn number 1 there. It worked out for him there. But took a little risk right there to try and just not allow Floyd to gain any time on him here. So as we come into turn 3, this is where Floyd gained On the Way last time. And good clean exit from all 3 drivers here, and no gains and no losses essentially there. So it's about a second separating third from fourth, and about a second and a half separating fourth from fifth right now here on the racetrack. So this is some great racing here, and we're on lap 37. So just 1 more to go, maybe 2, depending when these guys cross that timing line. So Ray Racer is actually heading into turn 3 right now. So he is potentially going to get another lap around the racetrack here yet as well. Bar 27 here coming around, and it's going to be second last lap here for this driver, I think, as he comes around. And yes, it is going to be 2 to go. On his way and Floyd here. So when these two cross the line, this is going to be a lap. These two are on that white flag lap here. So Floyd is going to make something happen. It needs to be now, and much the same for JP. They're out of time. Final lap for third, fourth, fifth place and beyond. Ray Racer and Bar 27. Most likely going to get 1 additional lap here on the racetrack. So we're going to stick with this. Oh, a penalty there for JP, and that is crushing. When you're right there, but you never know. These two could do much of the same thing here throughout this last final lap here, and they're going to be fighting. That's it. They know the timer is close. The crew is on the radio saying, "Hey, I don't think there's another one. You guys got to do it now." So Floyd, he's on it. He is coming in. He's putting on the pressure coming into turn 4. The exit of this corner is going to be crucial for these two drivers here. And boy, Floyd is all over On the Way here right now. We're going to sit with this as we come into the S's. Ray Racer and Bar 27, of course, going to go 1 more time around here. So we'll catch those guys coming across the start-finish line here after we are finished with the back half of our field here. This is a great fight right now. On the Way is doing just enough to keep Floyd out of the opportunity window. Floyd is doing everything he can to put himself into the opportunity window, but it looks like On the Way might just do enough to hold Floyd off there. Floyd didn't get the ideal run through 9 there. And are we going to see? We are going to see a checkered flag here for these two. Yes, On the Way is going to finish third. It's going to be a 4th place finish for Floyd. It's going to be 5th place for JP. Great races from those 3 drivers. Rusty here, it was a crazy race for him. It's going to be 6th place finish for him. That was a great job there for him. We got Johnny C and Cupcake here. It looked like Johnny was serving a penalty there, unfortunately, coming up out of the S's, and he's going to lose that position to Cupcake right at the end of the race here. But Cupcake's going to bring it home in P7, and very closely behind is Johnny C in 8th place there. Maddie's going to bring it home here in 9th position. I just got to see where our race leader is. Oh, race leader's coming around the final corner here. So Ray Racer dominating performance here in 1st position. Bar 27's got a little ways to go here, so let's get back up to the rest of our pack. Here we got Maddie coming across here. It's going to be a 9th place finish here for him today. Tough race there for him. A couple tough moments in the race there for him, but 9th place finish, still up in the top 10 there. Got Skunk coming across. It's going to be 10th place for him here today as well. Ken, not sure what happened to Ken here today. He had great pace in the early part of this race, and I don't know what happened, but he's still on track, and he's still got that car pushing forward here, but it's going to be an 11th place finish here for him today, and probably not ideal for him here today, but it is what it is. Matus had a 13th place finish there, and we got Hooley coming around here. It's going to be 12th place for Hooley. I think bar 27. I was just going to say, I think he's coming across. So second place for bar 27 there. And Hooley will be the final driver to take our checkered flag here today. And that will round out our 13 driver grid here today. So congratulations to Ray Racer. That was an absolutely dominating performance there from that driver. Congratulations, of course, to Bar 27 on a solid second place finish there, and Onzawe with a very well earned third place finish there. He had to do some defending there at the end of the race on Floyd to keep that third place, and it was a hard fought battle and well earned, and a very close fourth place finish there by Floyd as well. So great racing by our Division 2 group here as always, and well, that means 3 weeks of racing left here from Race Asylum, ladies and gentlemen. So round 7 at Red Bull Ring is officially in the books. The drivers will be able to head over to Sim League Pro, of course, where Race Asylum hosts all these amazing leagues and events over there in the UK and North America alike. So if you want to get involved, you want to get registered, head over to Sim League Pro and look for the Racing Asylum community, join their community, and all the information for everything they got going on is within Sim League Pro community page. So we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Thank everybody for hanging out with us tonight during, very great 2 sets of races here tonight. In my opinion, Div 2 was a little more action-filled than Div 1 tonight, but a great finish to both these races here tonight. Was good charges by drivers to try and gather up a final podium position here at the end of the race. But all in all, another great night of racing and a great weekend in the books here for Race Asylum North America, and that means round 8, ladies and gentlemen. So I don't know where it is offhand. I don't have the Discord open because it was lagging the stream out. So we'll find out next week when we get there. But I'm pretty sure it's an American track. And just want to say a special thank you to all the pieces that make this work. So obviously presented by Race Asylum out of the United Kingdom, absolutely amazing organization, very well organized group and racing league over there, and a great racing team as well. Very great, very competitive racers over there. So a special thank you to Race Asylum for bringing one of these great UK-based series down here to North America and letting us take a tear at it, because it's been a blast so far here in that BRZ. And thank you to all the volunteers behind the scenes, the official Sim League Pro again for hosting, being the host site for all these great organizations and groups. And of course, thank you to the drivers, putting in the time, putting in the work, showing up every week to put the race and put a show on for the fans and for everybody watching at home and who's going to watch later after the live broadcast. We hope you enjoy it all. And, let us know who your favorite racer is out of all the divisions here at Race Asylum this season. Leave a comment below. Do us a favor too, please. Don't forget to like and share this out if you're new to the broadcast and you like what you're seeing and you want to see more from Race Asylum and GT45 gaming like this. All you got to do is hit that follow or subscribe button. Turn on that little bell and live notification every time we go hot with a great sim race. Family-friendly commentary as well, ladies and gentlemen. You'll be notified and never get to miss another moment of the action. And the best thing about streaming is you don't have to watch it live. If you don't have time to watch it live, you can always watch it pre-recorded at your own leisure, at your own pace, another day down the road. So we appreciate you all. Thank you so much. I was your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. I hope everybody enjoyed the broadcast here this evening. We're always looking for feedback, positive and negative, because at the end of the day, it is very constructive and helps continue to grow the page forward for the community. And I mean, what else can we say? But this community rocks. These racers rock. This platform rocks. And to many, many, many more good races to come in the future, ladies and gentlemen, from Race Asylum North America. I mean, what can we say? Cheers. And remember, you all matter. Stay winning. And we approach a new week here soon. So get your rest this weekend. Get ready for that big old adult work week. And we'll continue to try and produce great, entertaining content for everybody to make your days a little bit better at the end of it. We appreciate you all, and we'll catch you on the next one.